this episode of Playlog, we're talking about every game that we played at Steam Next Fest. So buckle in, because it's a long one. Hey everybody, CGDannyB back again with another episode of Playlog, the podcast where we talk all things indie gaming, but of course, can't talk indie games alone because that's boring. So, alongside me, I've got my partner in crime, the play.nice.kids themselves, Tofr. What's poppin', homie?
I'm doing okay. I just wish we had more than 1 week of Next Fest because I did not get to play everything that I wanted to play.
Yeah, I still have like 5, 10, 15, 20, like 25 demos sitting on my PC that are in the we'll see if these are still live yet. Things to look at. Oh, goodness gracious. But what a week it was. What a fun time. I ended up doing an extra stream on Friday where I was just like, I didn't get to play enough of these. Guys, if I go live again tomorrow, they're like, yeah, okay. I'm like, bet. So I played a few more on that day, and it was a fun time. It was a good time. Okay. All right. However, before we get into our Steam Next Fest stuff, we have some other things to deal with. Like first, a quick reminder, on November 9th, myself along with 3 buddies will be hosting our 24-hour extra life stream. The stream will be featuring the 4 of us playing games, doing challenges, and even smashing eggs over each other's head all throughout the night as we raise money for the Penn State Health Children's Hospital in Hershey, Pennsylvania. So if you can contribute, we'd be more than grateful to have you come out and support the cause. And if you can't contribute financially, no worries. Just hang out, keep us motivated, and share the word on social media as much as you can. So be sure to tune in November 9th through November 10th for our 24-hour extra live stream. Start time pending. We'll figure that out because we're dealing with a wedding right now and everyone's going to be tired. But then after the wedding, we'll know what time we start. So just pay attention to the socials. We'll get you. Also, another quick reminder, as part of our podcast, we'll be doing our monthly book club. We go back and replay some classic indies or finally get around to some modern indies that we just haven't played yet. For the month of October, we'll be reviewing Spiritfarer, a cozy management game about dying. As the ferry master to the deceased, you'll build a boat to explore the world, care for your spirit friends, and release them into the afterlife. So, if you want to get involved in the episode, play the game this week on Steam, Switch, PlayStation, or Xbox, included on Game Pass. Then head over to our write-in form in the description to give us your thoughts on Spiritfarer for October 29th episode of Playlog Podcast. You can join us live on twitch.tv/CGDannyB for the discussion or catch the upload a few days later on youtube.com/CGDannyB. Intro plugs. Boom. Timestamp. We're in it, baby. Locomotive. Damn. It's going to be a long episode.
That was professional as fuck.
I kind of got it down. We're 32 episodes into this whole thing. I'm kind of a master at it now.
Yeah, apparently.
Exactly. If you guys need podcast advice, you can take my master class. I don't know any. Skillshare, that's one. I was like, what's one of those websites you can learn shit? I don't know. Not sponsored. Don't have Skillshare, but Skillshare if you want to talk. We can do something. Regardless, now we don't have any icebreaker questions, but we were mulling it over beforehand because you're talking about this list that's taking over the internet right now that I've seen everywhere on TikTok. I showed it on my stream last night. But Tofr, you heard about this woke game list that's been going around?
I have heard about it and it's ridiculous, but so for the people who don't know, it's a list of about 1,500 games, I think.
I think it's like 1,536, I believe, as of last night.
So about 1,500 games and this person apparently has played all of these and has judged them to see how woke they are and why they would be woke. And I think 99% of the games on this list are woke.
It's crazy.
Tell me about it, because you talked about it on stream yesterday.
Yeah, so I was seeing a couple creators that I follow. They were talking about this list, and the general consensus is that there is some sweaty kid in his mom's basement who is so mad about something. Who knows what game triggered it, what game made him want to make this list, but they made this list just to be like, does this game have anything in it that's gay, that's people of color? Put it on the list, baby. And it now, to their credit, some of those games not woke. They're very evenly balanced with woke and unwoke. They're very much not. However, I'll tell you this, Cuphead is not woke. So everyone can go play Cuphead because it's not woke. So we're good. Okay. And that's all that really matters at that point. Nah, man, it's a mess of a list because I pulled it up and I wanted to show chat and be like, I just want you to see how ridiculous this is. And then it became a game of is my favorite game on the list? And I was like, Firewatch. Yep, there's woke recommended.
Woke?
So there's woke, recommended, and then like informative or informal or something like that. So it's like kind of woke, but not that woke. So it's okay. So there's like red, yellow, blue. So Firewatch came in that yellow area where it wasn't quite something about there's letters you can find where there's one person who's interested in the same sex. That's where it became like, oh, it's almost woke. It's kind of woke. I'm kind of there.
Yeah, I was surprised, like watching your stream. I noticed that the first Life is Strange is only in the yellow category.
Yeah.
It's like there's gay people in there.
Which is so funny, right? Because then Life is Strange 2 and Life is Strange True Colors are both in like woke. Like that's too gay. That's too gay for us. We can't be touching those, which is crazy because like I've played Life is Strange 2 one time. Definitely my least favorite of the franchise. I blame that to giving the powers to the little brother and not the player, but now I don't know, whatever. But I don't really recall the like gay LGBTQ relationships in Life is Strange 2 very much. Like I remember the part where like, oh, I might be crushing on this girl, but then like kind of spoiler alert, like you skip town, you're out of here. So like it doesn't really persist. So so it was interesting to see homie be like, yeah, sorry, don't play Life is Strange 2, but the first one, we could talk about it.
Yeah, and like Before the Storm was in the yellow category as well. Whilst that entire story is about a lesbian relationship.
And that's how you know homie played every game on that list. That's how you know for a fact. That's ridiculous. Hold on. I'm going to like, we're not going to sit here and spend too much time on it, but I know it's in my like recently watched or recently looked at documents and I just have to see like, just to show the audience how crazy this is. Let me go here. Oh, baby, look at it right here. The release year. So it's the game, when it came out, the studio, the publisher, etc., and then whether it's recommended, not recommended, and then the review for it. The number one game on the list is Bloons Tower Defense 6, which is not recommended. And now pretty much every description starts with contains overly pro LGBTQ plus messaging. You can pretty much copy paste that for every single one that's on there. So we don't play Bloons because there's a pride flag available in the trophy store. There's pro pride messaging, and Psy is referred to as being with they them pronouns. So too woke, we don't touch that shit. We ain't playing that. But then it goes down. There's Baldur's Gate 3. There's Hades. Obvious reasons. My first one, the favorite thing I saw was that Shovel Knight, not just Shovel of Hope, not the single campaign, but the full package with Treasure Trove, both come up as not recommended because you can choose to make every character either male or female. You could choose how you want those to go, right? So what's amazing to me is how many people have been complaining in this woke culture that we don't need body types A and B. We don't need body types 1 and 2. Just make it male or female. Keep it simple. It's not that hard. Then when we get a game where I can make it male or female, they're like, that's too woke. We can't be doing that. You just can't pick we can't pick a lane over here, man. We can't pick a lane.
Nope.
But yeah, this list just goes on. And like you see these like, oh, there's a bunch of blue ones, right? And then like, you want to go play some BioShock 2 and but not BioShock 1. BioShock 1 or remastered? Sander? Gay. Can't be doing it. But there's all this. Wait, Forza 5's on here? Wait. Pronoun selection, including in the options, uses unlabeled presets instead. Okay. Yeah. So pronouns, sorry, no racing, guys. Too non-binary.
Yeah.
Temtem, Dead by Daylight. I mean, that's not recommended, period. But yeah, this whole list is just, you can just Google it. There's a Reddit list. And like, I just like being able to scroll through and laugh at the absurdity that is this list. I do believe that, I don't know if it's the same person, but I think there's a Steam curator who also tells people whether the games are woke or not. Get a life, dog. Yeah. Also, hey to the other 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, the other 12 people hanging out in this list at the same time as me. How's it going, guys? Oh yeah, there's our icebreaker, man. That's so wild that exists. Yeah. Anywho, we've had a long episode ahead of us here with all our Steam Next Fest stuff, so let us get through the quick indie news as fast as possible. To start off, Vampire Survivors is getting some Castlevania DLC just in time for Halloween. This one is from Ethan Gatch. I apologize if I butchered that, over at Kotaku. Vampire Survivors, a not so thinly veiled Yeah, I see. Vampire Survivors, a not so thinly veiled homage to Castlevania, is finally bringing its unofficial source material out of the shadows and into the spotlight. Ode to Castlevania will bring the Konami franchise's characters and weapons to the hit bullet hell roguelike on Halloween and its biggest DLC yet. And there's more talking about the DLC, but that's pretty much the crux of it. Yeah, you gonna play this DLC?
I might. I might. The funniest thing about this is Eurogamer did an article on the same thing.
Okay.
And I said, more DLC, still no vampires.
Yes, it says, listen, it's true. I'm going to see. So I thought about picking up the DLC while I was going through for the Platinum. And I did the PS5 one, but not the PS4 Plat. So if I do, I might pick it up for the sake of getting that second Platinum. I'm just not in the mood for the grind yet. But I'm, we'll see. We'll see where the itch scratches and how I go. I just, I kind of feel like I've shelved Vampire Survivors now. I don't really need to play more of it, but I'll play more Survivor likes in the, we talked about Temtem Swarm last week and all those. So, but we'll see. I'm definitely interested in like Castlevania's never been my franchise either. So it's not one of those ones. It's like, well, I gotta get in, but listen, we put Cuphead or Shovel Knight in there. We put Moonlighter against Vampire Survivors. I'll buy it all.
Moonlighter? What's Moonlighter?
Oh, it's this awesome roguelike where you run a shotgun. See, I never get to talk about this game, so like I finally get a platform for that. But yeah, no, it's cool. I'm excited at the idea that Vampire Survivors will have its like Dead Cells longevity of DLC, where it's just something after something after something, and they're like, all right, we're done, and then we see a Vampire Survivors 2 or some shit come out. We're like, all right, bet we're here. But yeah, on to the next headline here. This one is from Matt Wales over at Eurogamer. Dave the Diver developer confirms story DLC is in the works and talks spin-offs for each character, which that I didn't see in the headline. That's pretty cool. It's been nearly 2 years since Dave the Diver first let's actually clarify. Yes, guys, we understand Dave the Diver, not technically an indie, but it's indie adjacent. We've had the conversation. We're not going to have the conversation again. For the sake of us, Dave the Diver's an indie game, okay? Thanks. Now, it's been nearly 2 years since Dave the Diver first surfaced, immediately dazzling the world with its distinctive underwater exploration, sushi restaurant management charm, but developer Mint Rocket isn't done yet. The studio has confirmed a story expansion is on the way, and perhaps even spin-off games for each of Dave's pals. That's according to the Dave the Diver creator and director, Jayo Yong, I think, as perhaps if I butchered that, I apologize, who shares the news with VGC during the Singapore's recent Gamescom Asia. Quote, I want to expand Dave the Diver's IP itself, he explains, for the studio's future plans. I think that it's every director's dream since we have a relatable character, end quote. Wong, who also serves as Mint Rocket's CEO, added while the base game didn't go really deep into the personal stories of Dave the Diver because we wanted to keep the game very casual. He wants to start filling in some of those blanks. It seems at least some of some of that will happen in the story DLC Mint Rocket is working on right now. But Huang said he also wants to make separate games about each character to show how they met, what they did before coming to the Blue Hole, etc. He noted that there's some precedent for this already, albeit in reverse, given Dave the Diver's character's Cobra's backstory is technically told in Evil Factory, one of Huang's earlier games. That I had no idea about. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I think it's a good point there. Yeah, so you gonna check out some Dave the Diver DLC?
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't get into Dave the Diver when it came out. I tried it, and I just it didn't connect with me.
How can you call yourself an indie gamer and not play Dave the Diver?
Listen. I didn't play it because it's woke.
Honestly, hold on, we gotta check the list. I did check the list.
It is woke. Like
it's on there.
I saw it. Yeah, it's on there because it's a big man who can dive like a skinny man.
You're right. We did look at that last night. I did see that. You're right. Fat people woke. We don't do that. That's crazy. Yep. We're gonna reference this list all fucking night. That's it. Okay, when we get to Steam Next Fest, after each review, we have to say if it belongs on the woke list or not. We're gonna do that. I'm excited for this. I have not played any of the Dave the Diver DLC yet. I'll be honest, I haven't finished Dave the Diver yet. I've gotten very close on PC. I don't think I picked it up on Switch, and then I have it on the catalog for PlayStation, and I want to get the platinum for that, play through it. It's just always something new to play, which like sucks the most when like I played it on PC, it finally came to my console where I prefer to play it, but then I have 17 other things to play. Like right now, the whiteboard's pretty blank. It's got one thing on it, which this comes out into. I can say it. I have my key for Slay the Princess Pristine Edition, which I'll be streaming tonight on Twitch, which I'm very excited for. Very excited to finally play that one. I wanted to play beforehand, but Dex Fest. But yeah, no, I've just always so much new to play that like I want to get back and do the Dredge DLC, which screams for me, right? There's the Godzilla DLC, which if you're hearing this, I'm pretty sure is like shutting down in November. Like if you don't have it downloaded, it's gone for you. I think that's a Japan contract, something with Dave the Diver. I don't know how that works. So whatever platform, get the DLC now or it's gone. So note, that's important, which I think I have to do myself. But yeah, so having more DLC that's like for like inverse for the characters, as well as spin-offs. Like I'd love to see some of these characters, like different gameplay styles. It almost gives me that, maybe not so much Riot Forge, but the like, oh, we have one universe that's League of Legends, but we have all these different game styles. I do this, that, and the other. So imagining doing different things with Dave is cool.
Yeah, true.
Dave the Diver, ba-boom, timestamp. Now, this one's a little heavier. We're going to have a little bit more of a conversation here. Abubakar Salim is attacked on social media by racist YouTubers. Now, let me clarify. I put racist YouTubers, so that's not an official quote for anyone. That's a Danny quote. Now, there's a lot to unpack here. We're not going to be able to go through all of it, but essentially anyone who's not familiar, Abubakar Salim, he is the director, I believe, of Surgent Studios, the team who got us Tales of Kenzera Zhao. And this past week, there is a YouTube channel called Hypnotic. They did a big old podcast essentially just talking about Abu as a person, how fake he is, how like, oh, this is garbage, he's lying through his teeth, he's an actor, blah, 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 blah. This is where I'll get a little more into the opinion piece of it. I am not one to tell you not to say something about someone. Like, if you have an opinion like this person's fake, this person's authenticity is not there, that's your prerogative. You can feel that way. The big problem with this entire thing is that it became about race, that it became about Abu not being genuine to who he is. Then making fun of his, I believe it's in a car, is the African cape that he wears on his shoulder, I think is the particular type of garb. But they're like, that's not real. He looks so dumb with it on it. And he mentions like, I played Kingdom Hearts, I've played Golden Sun, and they're just like, nah, faker, liar, da 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 da. But there's one person in particular whose name I can't read because it's such a low quality video on Twitter. But homie went out of his way multiple times to make racial remarks. Ones that I feel like I could say because this video is still on YouTube, but I'll refrain from just in case YouTube decides to be like, that doesn't have as many views, let's take these guys out. But a lot of racial remarks about Abu, his family, him as a person, which was just absolutely uncalled for. Then this whole thing bled over to Twitter where the conversation continued, and basically the host was just like, hey, you can say whatever you want to, Boo, about how you are, what you aren't, but I just don't trust you. And the whole thing kind of turned this backpedal of like, we didn't say anything racist. We just don't trust you. You're an actor. Obviously, you can convince people X, Y, Z. They invited him onto the podcast to have this discussion, but he's like, no, I think I'm good. I don't think this platform is something that is a safe environment for me to come on to. I'd rather discuss it here where it's not, a gang of people jumping up on him to be like, oh, you're black? Get ready, baby. So it's just a mess that I've been seeing all over Twitter. You mentioned it, bringing it up, and I totally enraged by it. Didn't even think, oh, that's news to talk about, something to discuss. I was just like, that's annoying. It's annoying as fuck. But yeah, what do you think?
Well, it's not really my place to say all that much about it since I am the whitest of whites.
Fair enough.
But like the fact that they made it about the color of his skin.
Yeah.
That's when you lose the argument. Like
100%.
And especially like according to their logic, you just cannot trust any actor, I guess.
Yeah. Which like like I said earlier, I'm not here to tell you like, oh, you have to trust people. I personally have no reason. And if anyone is just like, well, I wonder what they said. I have the tweet pulled up. You can read it on the video version. Sorry, audio listeners, go check the YouTube one because I just won't read it out loud. But yeah, if you don't trust someone because they're an actor and blah, 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 you just don't feel the faith in that conversation. Sure, that's your prerogative. I can't tell you one way or another that's okay or not okay. That's just the way you feel. That being said, if the way you feel has anything to do with somebody's skin color and making that a prominent reason why you don't think this is okay, or like why homie can't just be like, hey, my dad died and I made this game to honor him, so check it out, right? Like the fact that this, no idea where the conversation came from in 2024 that we're decided, like, let's just bring this up later in the year to be like, oh yeah, well, this black guy made a game, let's talk about him and blah, blah, blah. Like, it just, there was no justifiable reason that I think this conversation should have came up, especially in the format that it did. But I hate people. I hate people sometimes.
Yeah. It's I felt like we needed to talk about this.
Yeah.
Just to keep the conversation going and to let not like I feel like in 2024 these kinds of conversations shouldn't be necessary anymore, but they feel more necessary than ever. Right?
Absolutely. Obviously, we've been joking about the woke list all stream, and we're going to continue to do that. But it's like that people have to go out of their way. And I don't know if it's like a fear thing, if it's like a keep people of color or you know, LGBTQ plus in their place type deal where like we just got to keep doing these kind of conversations. But there's no reason. Like what do you gain? Does this genuinely make you feel better at the end of the day by saying these type of things? Like it just doesn't make sense to me. It's so ridiculous. And I mentioned this to you for my anime fans out here. There's one person at the top, Leon Idol. I don't know anything about them. I know nothing about their mentality. I've just seen the clips out of context. Homie's got a One Piece poster in the back of his room. And if there's one thing that doesn't go together is being racist and loving One Piece. Like, those two things don't make sense. If you love One Piece, you clearly haven't paid attention to the story. And maybe that's this... as things go these days, I'm like, I have it up for the sake of triggering people and being like, you would make this comment and like maybe he just got me and all that. But that is like one of the glaring things. I'm like, I watch One Piece every single week. I've sat through Fishman Island. I've seen what's gone on with the Fishmen and, you know, where they're kept in the world and and I might just be speaking absolute gibberish to you right now. But like One Piece stands on this point of establishing how important some of these topics are, and people who choose to ignore that because they want to watch Cool Rubber Boy punch a dude, like, I don't know.
Some people do. Some people are set in missing the point completely. It's like, it's not to get too political, but it's like Republicans in America getting upset with Rage Against the Machine. Because apparently the machine they're raging against is Republican values.
No, that can't be right. I love those guys. They don't know. Nope. Yeah. Dog. Oh my God. You've been seeing total segue. You've been seeing the this blonde chick podcast clips where she talks about like slavery should be reinstated if the entire state wants it. What? Yeah, you haven't seen it? Oh man, they're all over the place, dude. She's ridiculous. I don't know her name. Someone might have to tell me in the comments. I forget her name. But essentially, there's this woke teen. His name's Dean. I love him. I watch him on TikTok all the time. But he debates in favor of like democratic values. I'm not politically intelligent enough to have this conversation, so like, forgive me all the wrong information I'm giving, but the conversation at hand is what's correct. So he's just like, hey, in this discussion, if they're talking about abortion and like what should, and we're not getting into politics here, but they're talking about what should be allowed, what state should, and blah blah blah. And I don't know how Belgium does, you know, abortions and everything like that. So this might just be like, you guys are idiots the way you handle this. But essentially, he's just like, yeah, what about this? She's like, yeah, all these things should be made by. If the entire state wants this, make that the rule. And he goes, okay, so if the entire state of, I think he says Alabama, wanted slavery reinstated, would you be okay with that? She's like, yeah, why not? If they want it, sure. And there's just this energy in the room that drops. And he's just like, wow. And they have a mediator who's very much like, all perspective. I don't know anything, but he gives that like, I'm here for her, even though I'm the mediator, I'm the middle ground. That's like the even party. He's constantly trying to move on when she says something dumb so that like it doesn't get hung up on, but she wants to keep rattling. And he's like, wow, that's crazy that you said something like that. It's ridiculous. I'll try and send you one of the clips next time it comes to my For You page. I know it's gonna, I've gotten so many, but she says some of the dumbest things. People.
Scary.
Yeah. Honestly, it is, but that's where you play video games, to escape reality. It's a nice place to be, away from all that.
Yeah.
But all that to suffice, just be better to people. I don't know why we're being mean to people. It's just not necessary. Be better.
Exactly.
Timestamp. How about a happier one here? It's not even the happiest. Let's just be cool. Hey, if you guys haven't heard about BLUESKY, this new Twitter replacement that a bunch of us indie characters are going on over to. There's a cool group. It is the Indie Game Content Streamers Starter Pack, which essentially is just a whole list of content creators that cover indie games. I believe it's built by Fierce Axolotl. At least they're the ones who invited me into it. I assume because they're at the top, they're the ones who created it. But it does feature some of your favorite creators like CGDannyB and where the fuck are you? Play.
Am I on there?
You have to be. I looked it up earlier. Play nice kids right here on Blue Sky. Yeah, and there's a bunch of other creators. I have to go through this list myself and see, like, I got to follow a bunch of people. There is a button to just follow everybody, but I know for a fact if I do that, I'm gonna get a follow list full of just like 2,000 people. I'm like, who the fuck are you? Like, I don't know. Yeah. So I almost want to curate it just a little bit, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, if you're on Blue Sky, you can follow this list. Or if you're not on Blue Sky yet, hey, go over there and follow both of us because it's a lot cozier place than Twitter right now. And I'm like, hope it stays that way.
And the cool thing is a lot, and I mean a lot of indie developers have made the move over from Twitter to Blue Sky during like, I think it was like 2 days of like millions of people moving over.
Yeah, I forget. I don't know which one triggered it. Because I guess Elon. So there was a thing about they were changing the blocking rules on Twitter. So essentially, if you block someone, they can't they can still see your stuff. They just can't like, comment, retweet, et cetera, et cetera. But like, no, that's not the point. The point of blocking was make sure they don't see me, get them off the grid. I don't want to see them. And then there was another thing, which I forget the details of, but it was about AI art. And once you post it on Twitter, it's like eligible for, it could be in any generative list within certain parameters, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, oh, if I can post my art and it just automatically could be submitted to AI. No, I'm not going to do that. So just whatever Elon's doing over there, but life. I just saw all my friends being like, by the way, I'm on Blue Sky. By the way, I'm on Blue Sky. I'm like, oh, we moving again? All right, screenshot. Like, let's go. Oh, man. But yeah, if you're on Blue Sky or if you're not yet, go over there. It's a good time. It's cozy.
It is.
But boom, timestamp, which means Tofr. We are done with the indie news. And now it's time to move on to the topic of the show. Steam Next Fest has just concluded. It's done. It's all wrapped up. I don't know which demos are still live or not. We'll find out throughout the next 10 weeks when I don't install all these demos. But we wanted to take a time to talk about, be our favorites, games we wanted to highlight and talk about, games we're like, oh, it wasn't so good, whatever the case is. So we each have a list of 10 plus everything we did play as well. But I've been rambling for a minute. You want to talk about some Next Fest shenaniganry?
Sure. First up, there was a new demo for Trash Goblin.
Hell yeah.
I've been like keeping an eye on that one for a while now. I backed it on Kickstarter.
Hell yeah.
I played the previous demo and I just had to check it out. And the cool thing is there's not that much that has been changed. Like, for the people that don't know, it's basically you run a little shop selling trinkets that you uncover and clean. And even upscale now, which is a nice feature. What I do like about the new demo is that your work table is far less cluttered. For the people watching and seeing the trailer, there's plenty of stuff on there that's just decoration. Yeah, and that does not have any purpose. And they've cleaned that up to make it more streamlined. And I think it's a good thing that they did that. I feel like it helps. Yeah, streamline it that's the word for it. The upcycling things, the trinkets, by adding them together is a neat feature, but I'm really like interested to see how far that goes. Maybe that's because now it was just like I have a pot and I have a lid and I can add them together, and that makes sense. Yeah, but I'm curious to see if that's gonna be like you can add everything to everything, and how that would work.
I'm assuming there's recipes because like I know there's like a sword, right? I remember getting like the hilt. I'm like, how am I gonna sell this? Then I got the blade. I'm like, oh okay, so I'm supposed to put these together. I didn't know how to put them together. Maybe I skipped the instructions. I'm just like, I'll just leave them in the bag for now. They'll stay here. But I remember when I checked this one out, my bag was growing in inventory like exponentially, and I couldn't tell if things were like duplicating or if that was just like the overlay or like I got a bug or maybe it's just something I could entirely just didn't understand what was happening. But I like cleaned up one of the grandma eggs and then I had like 4 of them. I'm like, what the fuck? What is happening? So I wasn't sure what happened to me there.
The shop owner gives you like a big number of items after you complete your first puzzles.
Okay.
So it might have been that. I don't know.
Okay, that would make sense. That would like totally. I was just kind of like, I know I've played this before. I kind of would get to like the cool cleaning part of it. So I kind of buzzed through all the dialogue when he wasn't doing the tutorial. So very much possible. I was just like, what's happening? Why do I have so much shit? Yeah, dog. And this is November 6th, I think, in early access. This is in like a week from when this episode drops. I can't wait. I'll play so much Trash Goblins.
Same. Like you could already get quite some time in with the demo. There just wasn't any story to it.
Yeah.
Like after the intro, there wasn't any story. You could just keep cleaning things and selling them to new customers, but that was it.
Yeah.
So I'm mostly like curious now to see how the story will evolve.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how much comes out of that. Because if it was all like just we're cleaning, we're selling, we're doing whatever, like I could see that being fine, but I know I'll get like bored of that eventually, especially if like eventually I'm seeing all the same items versus like this guy comes in, it's like, oh, did you hear in town there's a big old sale, you're getting 200% increase on da 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 because the mayor comes, whatever bullshit I'm making up in my head. I think it'd be cool to have that to expand the universe as we go. So that'd be cool.
Yeah. So, and if this, like you said, we were gonna tell people if this game was gonna make it on the woke list.
Okay.
I think it is.
Let's go!
It is because goblins are not white cis men.
Damn right they aren't. Too woke. It's on the list, Tofr. Trash Goblin, too woke. Yeah. Take that. Okay, bad. Then, all right, that's going to be our period. That's what we're going to be like, when I'm done talking about this game, too woke. Now, I'm going to bring up one that's going to tether on from last week, because you had played Edge of Allegoria.
Yes, and I'm very curious to like your thoughts on it.
For anyone who missed last week's episode, we did do a few of our Next Fest demos over there. So if you're like, they didn't talk about this one, it might be on the last episode if you haven't seen it yet. But Edge of Allegoria is this very like Pokemon Red and Blue inspired RPG. It's got the very classic pixel art style, the green coloring to it. Except rather than catching Pokemon, you're playing as like this run-of-the-mill dude who's like, you'll never amount to anything. And you're exploring, fighting all these different monsters. All right, to start, you're just beating up small animals, which is crazy. You weren't super high on it when you discussed it. I, on the other hand, thoroughly enjoyed my time with this one.
Okay.
I think the biggest thing you said was just like the overall like cynicism, I guess the word cynicism of it, where the whole thing, like you start and like the lady next door is just like, you're a waste of space, get the fuck out of town. And like that, like, okay, I guess I'll find something. Which I'm like, okay. Like I just use that like, fuck you, Karen, you suck. But as you're going through the entire thing, like I just don't mind unnecessary cussing. I think it's funny. So like when you get into an encounter, dude will be like, holy fucking shit, is that a squirrel? Let's get him. Like, and then it's just like, okay, that wasn't necessary, but it was funny. And like that happens all the time. As I got further in, it did use some dialogue that was not Twitch friendly. So I'm like in character. I'm like, what's going on? I can't. And they're not like the worst thing in the world. The one is we're on YouTube. Yeah, the one was simp, which we can't say on Twitch. Like we get in trouble for saying simp. So I'm like, okay, I won't do that one. The other one was the C word, where I'm like, ooh. I mean, like, it's not like it's an illegal word. I just don't feel comfortable saying that word. So I was like, I'll bump the brakes a little bit. All of that aside, I enjoyed the gameplay loop. I liked exploring and fighting. Something I kind of noted as you like got further in is unlike, so in Pokemon, you're catching 6 different Pokemon for your team. You get the type advantage here and there. You want to diversify. The way it works in this game is that you find different tools and like equipment. And as you use those items, you level them up. And once you like max it out, you permanently unlock that skill. So you can swap to another one. So you get the sword. I got the big swipe. I've maxed it out. I can take that off. I can put on the axe. Now I max out the axe. I have that skill. I can put it away and do that. You do the same thing with the helmet, the pants, everything else. So I enjoy that because it gives you the diversity of having different types and different skills without having like an inventory of Pokemon. And once you permanently unlock it, you just have it. Which I don't know how big the list gets. I don't know if you're going to unlock everything early enough. You're like, I did it. Now I just run through the game with this. I'm not sure. But I had a really good time. I'm seeing in the trailer, like so much of it I never crossed because we're just that early part of the game. But yeah, I had a good time with it. I agree with some of the things you said about like how just like it's everything sucks. People are dumb. I hate society. Blah 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 blah. Which maybe I just went into it with a different mindset of like, oh, it's just I just take it goofier than serious, I guess. But yeah, I had a good time. I would recommend. However, wokeness, is it woke? Is Edge of Allegoria woke? Let me think. I'm bringing gay people. I don't know for any black people.
I don't know. The sense of humor would make me believe that this isn't a woke game.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm
at.
Also,
like, yeah, we're fucking adults.
We're fucking adults. Yeah. All right, cool. Then the game is recommended, not woke. All caps, not woke. Boom.
I believe this one is releasing in December as well.
No shit. Yeah, I didn't check the date. Let me see. The Edge of Allegoria. I gotta keep it checked because I gotta see how many of these come out soon because I gotta do I gotta prepare my November video and I'm behind on that. I know Trash Goblins on there. Yep, December 4th. Hell yeah. I'm very much looking forward to playing that one. Right. I know my friend Super Nintendo Dad was just like, what was he was in chat watching, and then a few days later I was like, what was the name of that game? And I was like, oh, Edge of Allegoria. And he started to type, and then I assumed the moment that the dots disappeared, the game downloaded, so he just put it down and ignored me. So Super Nintendo Dad, if you're there, you're welcome. Yeah. Ba-boom. Alrighty, there's mine. You got another one? What else you got in this list?
Oh, I have plenty.
Yeah.
Next up, like, I have to be honest, I grew up during the age of the PS1.
Okay.
Which is famous for like its survival horror games. I played none of them.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Kind of same.
So I don't have any nostalgia for that type of game. Then again, Sorry We're Closed is an ode to that type of game, and it is such a good time.
Dude.
The game's so aesthetics. Excited. Yeah, the game's aesthetics is an easy sell for me here. It has that PS1 vibe, but like with modern influences, I would call them.
Okay.
It made me like, it reminded me of something like PS1 Silent Hill meets Sayonara Wild Hearts or Paradise Killer.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely see that.
So yeah. But gameplay feels more similar to like the old Resident Evil games where you have like the static camera angles. And you have to switch to first person view to like use your weapon and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Basically your character Michelle has been cursed from what I'm guessing is a broken heart. Somehow that attracted a demon. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Michelle.
And together with your friend Robin, you have to find a way to break that curse.
Okay.
This one is coming out in November, and I'm definitely picking that one up. It's a love letter to the old survival horror games, and it plays like them, but not. It's not an exact copy. Like it's a more modern take on it.
Yeah.
So it feels good to play in 2024.
Hell yeah. I had told you I played the demo before, and I don't know if it's the same one. Is this the one that starts you like coming home to the hotel, you get to your room, the dude's chilling in the bed? Okay. So it seems like it's the same demo that they had before. I'm sure there's probably some fine-tuning and fixes that they added or anything. Yeah, I played that same demo, and I'm very much not my cup of tea. I haven't touched Resident Evil until like Resident Evil 7. Like I've never played a Silent Hill. These are just not my types of games. But I think this demo was up during Ludonarracon, if I recall. And I was baffled at how much I enjoyed this. I'm like, holy crap, this is cool. The style, the gameplay. I don't think you'd mentioned, but there's like, you can like snap between realities, and then in the alternate reality, you can see like the weak points of the enemies. I thought that was a cool mechanic. Like that was really fun. This is really cool. And like, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm jazzed for this one. I definitely want to play this one.
This is one that we'll definitely be talking about during a future episode of the podcast.
Yeah, let's go, baby. By the way, developers, if you just want to hand us some keys for these games, by all means, I have a business email on the account. You can send me 2. I'll get one to Tofr. I'll keep it for myself. I won't sell it on any of those curator websites. I promise. We're going to play the game. But I might be shooting some DMs or emails the coming weeks. Just know. But hell yeah. Yeah, dude, this game looks great. I had to totally pigeonhole the sorry we're closed conversation, but
oh, that's fine. I'm glad that that you share my enthusiasm for it. because this is totally not our type of game,
Right.
and still it grabbed us.
Yeah, dude.
And yeah, I if this were out before Halloween, I would definitely play this on my Halloween stream.
There you go.
But it's gonna be out in November, so there's gonna be a post Halloween stream, I guess.
Yeah. Kick in November with it.
Yeah.
Let me see here. But we gotta know, is it woke?
I think so. I think there's like there's hints of like LGBT representation.
Okay. I would think based on the devil character dude, I would say probably pretty LGBT.
Yeah. Too
You
woke.
heard it, guys. Too woke. Don't play. Sorry, we're closed. Too woke.
So what else have you been playing, Danny?
Oh, timestamp. I played a pretty cool game. It's called Legends of Boom. So this is not one that I had on my list. However, the developer popped into chat while we were doing our Next Fest stream. And let me point out, Aaron, we've been DMing back and forth. We chatted. Aaron, really cool guy, has hopped in the chat a couple times during Next Fest. Something that happens to me all the time during Next Fest is devs pop in and they have a very copy paste like, hey, hope you're having a good stream. If you haven't checked out insert game here, be sure to do that, and then dip. Like they don't stay and play the game. I'm like, I really hate that. I don't like that. Aaron popped in, started as like a chatter, had a conversation. And they were new chatter, so I kind of immediately thought like, oh, do you have a game in the Steam Next Fest? They're like, yes, we do. It's called Legends of Boom. So I pulled up the trailer, and I love everything this game's doing with its narrator. So essentially, it's a strategy game where kind of all chaos takes place at the same time. It's a deck builder. But you unlock packs, and I don't know if there's I think there's microtransactions. I'm not entirely sure if it's like the in-game commentary of it, there actually is. But you build the deck, and then each team puts a base down, and then you slap everything on the board. You'll have like an energy bar that refills, and then you drop like hit my tank, hit my shield so it blocks this and the other. And then the first one to take out the enemy's base wins. It's like very chess inspired. But like it's all chaotic. I thought it was going to be turn-based, and it wasn't. So my first round, I put an item down, and the enemy was like, bah, 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 bah. I'm like, oh snap, I'm gonna lose. I won. During the demo, I was the only one online when I was playing, so I only did AI fights. But the highlight of this game is the narrator. His name is Flip. I forget the last name. It's funny, but his name is Flip. He is
Wait. Let me check.
Oh,
Legend. I think I noticed this game when I was checking, and I think I know who the announcer is.
Yes, I think you do.
Yeah. But you go ahead. Sorry,
okay,
I
No.
interrupted you.
You're chill. So Flip is this aged Muppet who's the commentator. That was very flashy. Sorry, should have put an epilepsy warning on that one. But he's grizzled, he's old, retired commentator who's kind of come back. And his whole thing is just being like, I don't really get games or people. So he just says like really crude things the entire time. He's super funny. There's like when you're building your deck or doing packs, he just has, I think he said there's 5 hours of commentary for this character where he just rambles. I'll be doing anything and everything, and he's just like da 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 da, and this, that, and the other, and you're stupid, and oh my god, who are these nerds? They're playing games competitively? Fucking losers. And like it's funny. It's really funny. I love Flip. So during the game, during my demo, at some point something happened. I don't know if it's something in the coding, got backlogged, but the game wouldn't stay launched. So it kept crashing. So we ended up moving on. Aaron and the team fixed it like almost immediately. They shot me an email like, hey, appreciate you. We didn't know that problem was a thing until you played, so thank you so much for trying it out. I guess in the patch notes it says like, thanks to CGDannyB for finding this problem. Like, shucks, thanks. Nice. I think this will be a fun one that I could see like friends getting together and just like annihilating each other's bases. I hope it has the player base. You know, I always have that fear of like multiplayer game, indie game, like if it doesn't keep the player base, how long can it stay up, a type deal. I want to see this one explode and be more popular, and I totally moved on from the thing that we paused for. So the narrator, the voice actor for the narrator, is the announcer from NBA Jam.
Hell yeah!
Korowitz, Tim Korowitz, I think is the name. Is that correct? Tim Kittredge. Sorry, I'm mixing. Yeah, so Tim Kittredge from the NBA Jam games is doing the narration for Flip, which is really cool. It's great. And he just has so much more dialogue. I'm waiting for like a Boom Shakalaka like type reference in there. I don't know if that's some kind of copyright thing they can or can't do, but I feel if they can, they'll totally do it. But yeah, this was a fun one. I'm still waiting to see it kind of evolve more and see what's going to come from it. I think I had highlighted like there's a tutorial, but it's one of the ones you got to like click and go into how to play type deal, as opposed to like, welcome to the board, check this out, this guy's going to do this. Like I'm very much just visual, like hold my hand and tell me when to place things, and then I'll just go ham on it. So I think that was my like one critique to the devs when we were discussing it on stream, but I had a blast. The narrator's like a huge thing. I think it's super funny. I love that that's there. I like the model for him. He's really charming to look at. So charming's not the word. He's good to look at. So, but yeah, Legends of Boom. I will say this game's not woke at all. When I got Flip talking at me and all kinds of weird words and calling me names and stuff, not woke. So,
okay.
As it stands right now, Tofr, you're the one with the woke list, not me.
Yeah, I'm starting to see a pattern.
Got him. Oh, boom. But yeah, Legends of Doom. Legends of Boom, not Doom. I think I made a couple of the Costco guy jokes during that. I was like, is this game a boom or a doom? A double chunk chocolate cookie or whatever shit's going on. But what else you playing?
I went on a serious trip
for
my next game.
We said
it. Trip is a game that we noticed, I think, during the 6-1 Indie Showcase.
That sounds right.
Yeah. It's a first-person train exploring game, but things are not as they seem. Everything starts out quirky enough with like these very colorful people minding their own business before you go bothering all of them. That's the gameplay. You just go bother people.
I love bothering people. That's my whole mentality.
But there's something going on here. Like there's someone who claims that you don't belong on this train.
In this day and age, how could you say that?
Yeah. And then, for example, there was like one of the characters that you talk to is playing a game on their Switch.
Okay.
And they're like, "Oh, this game is so cool. It has like this bug where you can walk through the walls." And then there's a part of the train where you just walk through a wall.
Okay, let's go.
The thing is, you walk from carriage to carriage, but every time you enter a new carriage, it's the same one as before.
Okay.
So there's something mysterious going on. When you clip through that wall, you're in like this endless room with a giant hole in the middle.
Okay.
And
okay.
there's this person there that says, "You're not supposed to be here yet." Like, Yet?
Yeah.
What? Why? But yeah, that's.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say anything more. I'm just gonna tease it a little bit.
Yeah.
It's really intriguing, and I'm very curious to find out more about this world.
Yeah, dude. I hadn't seen. We had both mentioned like the list this year, like the curated list on Steam was very wonky, like loading weird, and like I feel like I wasn't seeing a lot of the games that I should have wanted to play. And this is one of them that I did not see until it was on your list. Like you had it, like I'm going to talk about. I'm like, there was a trip demo. I didn't see that. So I have it downloaded, praying to God that it's still up so I can play it this evening. Because this was my highlight from the 6-1 Indie Showcase. This one looks super cool. Yeah. I'm so excited. But
the demo is still up on Steam. So
let's go. I'm going to start tripping, baby. Yeah, dude. This game looks sick. I'm so enthralled with this one. I think after playing Grun, it's like the way you're explaining, like the way kind of loops and you're like, it's giving me a similar vibe, both visually and just based on like the gameplay loop. So I'm hoping this is just like Grun on a train. Like that'd be really cool.
Could be. I haven't played Grun yet, so
listen, good game. Would recommend. Still have to beat it. Trip. Or is it woke?
Well, every person on the train is a different color, so I guess.
Yeah,
I guess
that's
so.
woke. That's woke.
I guess so. They're not white.
No white dudes. We got to keep a list. Not white. Not a man. Gay. Woke.
Yeah. Eats avocados.
Eats avocados. Woke. Trip to woke. Oh man, Tofr, I'm not gonna lie to you. Your list ain't looking too good. Quick scan. I don't know what one of these is, but that one might be woke. I don't know. I don't.
Listen. I have a pride flag right behind me. I'm non-binary. I am woke.
I'm putting too woke next to your name.
Yeah, I'd be disappointed if any of my games was not woke.
They can't see the doc. I put extra too woke next to your list. So that's in the doc.
With all of the exclamation marks.
I'll just be too woke because I'm only half black. So like I'm not too woke, but I'm too woke.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm not extra too woke, man. You know what I mean? This is a great joke. What else did I play? Ooh, yeah. I played an I can't spell finished, unfished game. I played an unfinished game, which
that's a demo.
It is a demo. It's a demo of an unfinished game. It was actually really funny. when I started the stream, I kept saying like, "Oh, we're gonna play an unfinished game," and like half a chat didn't realize that was the name of the game until I launched it, and they saw the logo like, "Oh, I see." I was so confused. Like, yes, the name of the game is called an unfinished game. But it is essentially I've talked about this in my YouTube video of like Steam demo recommendations. You were playing as a new game tester in the studio, and they have a bunch of unfinished projects. You're to go in, you're to find the bugs, you're to clear the levels, and then to go to the next one. So they come in like sets. I think the first one's like a set of 10. But you walk in and you're like, all right, cool, let me find this. There's rooms that are incomplete, or like the doorway doesn't work, so it's blocked off. So you have to like jump down a tube and use like air vents to fly up and down and everything. There's little corrupted pieces of texture that are the bugs, which you have to pick up. I think each level has 3, so some you have to find them, some they're like right in your path, so you know where to pick them up. There's dialogue with these like basic characters who are just kind of like, hey, what's going on? And then they'll be like, sorry, we didn't complete the dialogue for this section. So they just give you empty boxes of text and like there's nothing to say. Like there's all these different things of like, here's a game that got shelved, or a game that never got finished, or like here's other testers that broke during their tests, and here's a room with no texture. Sorry for the audio listeners who were seeing the video trailer, etc. I really enjoyed my time with it. I think I went into it expecting to kind of love it a little more in the way of like I enjoyed a Superliminal, or the way I enjoyed a Viewfinder. It's still in that vein. It's that type of puzzle game. But in the levels, I don't think I had too much shock and awe. Like, there's one thing I kind of want people to play the demo and find themselves. I don't want to like say like, this happened, and that was pretty cool. But there was a moment, fuck it. So there's a moment where you walk into a room and like the game kind of lags. And I'm like, oh shit, it's not optimized well. Like, that's okay, it's just a demo. But then it keeps lagging, and then eventually like you get the blue screen of death. And I thought my PC broke.
No.
Yeah, but then it's just like, okay, we're good. And then the room's all fucked up when it comes back. Like, okay, cool. The game did that. That wasn't me. Okay, I thought my computer broke. I'm like, not when I'm streaming, no. And then there's a whole room that's about like gambling for money, where you go in and well, I want to say gambling. There's a big button on the screen, and if you press the button, you get $1. To open the door, you need $200. So I sat there. The VOD's on the other YouTube channel, so I sat here going on the F key. So I made $200. You get to the next room. There's another one that says, "Hey, $300 to open this door." So I went back, and I was like, "There's got to be something else." I got to like $100. I went back in, and I found. There's a button that when you press it, I think it costs a certain amount of money, but it doubles all the money you make. I'm like, perfect, got it. But you go to the third room, and there are slot machines that you can use, which will, you can lose a bunch of money, you could gain a bunch of money. Then there's the big button that gives you $10 or $5, but because you doubled it, it's $10. And like you can sit there, just spam it for like $2,000, and eventually, like, it's just kind of nonsensical. But I had a good time doing it. Chat seemed to have a good time watching me, just like, yo, his forums are gonna be crazy. But I had a really fun time with it. Again, I don't think I had like the love that I expected out of it, and maybe that's just going to come more as I get further into the game. But I definitely feel like there's quality here. I really enjoyed it. So
okay, yeah. Is there like any story to it, or is it really just the puzzles?
Right now, there doesn't seem to be too much going on. I mean, you're in a company, so there's like people, like you go talk to the lady at the desk. She's like, "Oh, welcome. You're going to go this way and that way." I haven't seen like any kind of like, oh, I came up to this person and blah, blah, blah is going to happen. I'm hoping more of that comes to exist. I think we talked about it last week on like, what do I want to play? And I'm hoping it maybe not as intense, but hits some of those same notes as like the beginner's guide, where it's like a game about developing games, and I think there's a lot to tell here, and I hope it takes those steps. As of right now, it very much was just like mostly the puzzles, and then like the goofy stuff some of the characters say, as opposed to like, hey, here's what's going on with me. So, TBD.
Okay. It looks cool.
Yeah, it was really fun. Again, simple enough. I think like people who want the not the quality, but like I guess the shock and awe of some of these first person puzzle games, they might not get that same level, but I think they'll still enjoy it. I think they'll still have fun with it. Yeah. Now, is this bad boy woke? There's ducks in this game, and there's no saying anybody's not a white guy. I think. No, go ahead. What do you think? What looks?
It looks like you're going for a list of just non-woke games.
Will I fix that? I might fix that. I'll probably fix it. All right, fix it. Not woke, baby. Not woke. This one. I'll tell you what. Let's put this one as informational, because it could get woke.
Okay.
Informational. But I don't know if it's going to get woke. It could get woke. I don't know if it's going to get woke. We'll see. Boom. Timestamp. What else we got on this list? I won't hear about this other one. I haven't played it
yet. 30 Birds is an actual Belgian game. That was pretty cool. Just a side tangent here, but last weekend we had the Belgian Game Awards.
We did.
And it was cool because every other game was up against Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh no, those poor babies.
So it was pretty sad.
Oh no.
But anyhow, 30 Birds is a beautiful looking game inspired by Persian art, in which the goddess Simurgh has been kidnapped by an evil scientist.
Okay.
I'm not going to spoil more of the story, but the highlight here is absolutely the traversal. You're traveling on these paper lanterns, and it's just so beautiful. Like you get to explore. Like for example, at the start of the demo, the goddess is about to wake up from a 30-year sleep because she had needed to have a certain dream. And it's up to you to find like a perfect spot to watch her wake up.
Aww.
And that's when you see her get kidnapped.
Oh, no.
Really dramatic. But yeah, it just looks so gorgeous, and it plays really smoothly as well.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's like I implore people to watch the YouTube version of this podcast because you need to see the visuals for this one. It's so colorful. It looks like a Persian fairy tale come to life. It looks like it's gonna have an intriguing story. The characters feel well written. There's mini games as well, because before you arrive at the first paper lantern, you're on this train, and on that train there's someone playing music. And he's got this new type of musical instrument, but he doesn't know how it works, so you have to figure it out for him. And it's cool, like it's a nice touch. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing what the full game will be.
Yeah. So I'm thinking like we had Paper Trail earlier this year, which is a lot more of like a paper folding puzzle game type deal. Is this more conversational and explorational? Like, is there's not so much like, oh, I'm folding something so I can make my way across to another paper lantern, or like, what is that like a part of the gameplay at all? Like puzzles, I guess.
I haven't really met any puzzles yet.
Okay.
It's mostly exploration, conversation. It reminds me in that aspect of something like an Oxenfree or so, or Mutazione.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Not that we need the puzzles. I just, I see paper and I think of paper trails. I think of a fold apart. I'm like, it might be the same. We'll see.
Makes sense.
Good games.
It's also cool because it has like this magical fairy tale vibe, but at the same time, there's trains, there's people with guns. So it's this mixture of like realism and this magical setting.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, this looks great. Another one I have downloaded that I haven't gotten to. Hoping the demo's still up so I can hop into it at some point here. Yeah, this
it's still up.
Let's go. Yo, devs, you being real. You being real. See, there's a point in time where like the demos would end. Like when Steam Next Fest ended, the demos were gone. And like now it seems like I think someone's just like, oh, there's not a rule, right? We could just leave the demo up. Yeah, okay, let's just don't take it down. And I'm hoping that's just what everybody's doing now. So I'm like, cool. Okay, bet. Yeah. We're good.
Also, this one should be on your list for the November releases. Releases on the 28th.
Oh my goodness. I should pull up my Notion a while. Am I November 1? We'll see. Hell yeah. All right. Now the ultimate question. 30 birds. Is it woke?
Well, again, the people are all different kinds of colors, so I'm guessing it is.
Wow.
Guessing it is.
Well, ladies and gentlemen.
Maybe I'm just looking for reasons to call it woke.
That's it, guys. Tofr. Too many woke games.
Yeah.
This is what you done. This is what you did.
I'm gonna be cancelled after this episode.
Honestly, by someone. Maybe not the people you think. Well, probably the people you think. It'll be the guys who did the podcast on Abu. They'll be like, what's this? Playlog. Fucking. Oh no.
They're actors.
I don't trust these guys. They're actors. That's crazy. I know. Oh, good Lord. All right.
Tell me about your next game then.
Absolutely. So we had a multiplayer game day where me, Kanai, and Connor played a bunch of multiplayer games from Next Fest. So I think I have all three of those on here. I do have all three on here. So the first one of the first ones we checked out was called Wildwoods. This one had been announced like so long ago. I definitely think in like maybe 4 years ago, I think I saw it. I could be totally lying, but I'm pretty sure I've seen it for quite some time. And in a recent video, we used to do like, we'd start Monday streams like, hey, here's 3 indie games that like you probably haven't heard of. And this is like one of the first ones I brought up. But it is I'm like, I don't want to stretch roguelike, but I'll go with it's roguelike where you work as a party. And the whole thing is you are playing like, freaking escort mission on this carriage with a goat. And the carriage has 3 different locations. On the front with the goat, there's where you put your money. On the side, there is a place for flowers where you heal yourself. And then on the back is like a furnace where you can light the area. And then all along the way, like enemies are coming out of the bushes. There's little rabbits and raccoons. And I think they were badgers or just a bunch of different things that come running at you. And you just have to fend them off. We ended up finding the strategy was to have 2 people collecting items and just throwing them at the caravan. So then the other people would be like, the one guy, which was supposed to be me, and then I was ADHD. I couldn't stop grabbing everything. But like, boom in the fire, boom in the health, boom in the pocket. Like, it was fun. It got challenging. And the way it works is as you finish a level, you'll get to the end, there'll be like a fork in the road. It's like, do you want to go to like the save spot, like the safe place where you can heal and sleep? Or do you want to go to like the next route? And depending on which path you take, there are these little red gems that increase the difficulty. However, once you get to the base camp, depending how many of those red gems you've acquired, you can trade those in for money. I think depending, I didn't fully wrap my head around it, but it looks like if you have 2 of them, each one's worth 50. If you have 5 of them, each one's worth 100. If you have like 8 of them, each one's worth like 200 or something in that ballpark. So the more you have, the bigger threshold you can get into, basically the bigger tax bracket you're in. And then you can get more money by trading those in and like resetting all the challenges. Because it'll be like, oh, this one the rabbits here have armor. These enemies are harder to kill. The things you have to destroy to get resources, those are harder to damage and break. So like you can increase the difficulty as you go. And then the corner is kind of like a clock that tells you how close to the end you are. Once you reach the end, you do the big boss battle, which is like the big badger guy that we saw here in the trailer. And then when you beat that, boom, you've completed it. I think you then move on to like the next area with the same cart. That's where the demo ends. So I don't know for sure. Or that might be like, the cart's been delivered. Congratulations, get a new cart. It was definitely challenging, I think, at first. We were trying to wrap our heads around what to do. But I think once we figured out, like, oh, we just need to be more organized with our choices, we're good. And I had a blast with it. I can't speak for Connor and I. They seemed to have a good time with it as we had our heads wrapped around it. But I'm excited. I want to play more of this one. I think having more weapons, more customizations, more different like challenges to take on as you're going through levels, I think it's really cool.
Okay.
Yeah. One I think we saw PAX.
I think it's a brave move to like take escort missions, like everyone's favorite gameplay mechanic, and make that the central theme of your game. But I can imagine like in a multiplayer setting that this should be a blast.
Yeah, I think chat mentioned it like looked very overcooked, and it like that's a comparable thing. Like it does have overcooked energy. It's not quite as chaotic of like, oh, I have to organize and I didn't put my things in the things. Like there is still organization, but it's not hard to be like, oops, I put the wood in the flower pot. Like it doesn't, if you put it in, it just falls to the ground. Like you didn't put it in the right spot. But when you get good at it and kind of timing your aim and everything, as you turn and go to throw, you'll get the little like reticle that kind of lines up with your spot. You could just chuck it. Connor seemed to be having problems with aiming and like hitting the target. I don't know if Connor just like was bad at it or if like he was generally having issues with the aiming in the game. I didn't seem to have any issues. I was just like, throw it at the back, foop, throw it at the side, foop. Like as long as I lined myself up, it was good. But yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunity for it. I don't know how much diversity it'll end up being. I'm hoping there's more biomes because this one was all kind of just like in the forest, and the goat's kind of dumb if there's a giant blockade in the road. Like they just go, they don't stop. But you can get an upgrade for the goat where they're like, uh-oh, there's a log, help. And they'll like slow down and scream, but they still keep going, which tells you to go break the log so they can get through. But if you don't, our goat just ran right through it and just broke everything. The whole cart, they died. You can go just kind of res it. You're like, res the goat, res the cart. All right, keep moving. So it's kind of a challenge. I don't think there's like a fail state unless you all die. We didn't all die, so I can't say for sure. But yeah, I guess the cart can break as much as it wants, and you just revive it. So
yeah.
Okay. It was a good time. Would play more. Yeah. Let me see.
So the big question.
Is Wildwoods woke? Just saying. I didn't see any LGBTQ. I didn't see any black people. I don't know if are furries woke these days. There might be furries. I don't know. I'm trying to find a reason to say that it's woke. You know I'm trying to get in the head of the guy who built this list, right? I want to be that guy. I gotta be who hasn't showered in a month to build this list. Yeah, I'm gonna say furries. Furries, cat people. Yeah. So we'll go with Wildwoods is woke. Okay. Too woke. Oop, wrong spot. Boom. Too woke. On it. Boom. Yeah. Finally, I got a woke game. Ugh, took me long enough. All righty.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. It honestly, it makes me feel a little sick inside that I would do such a thing, but we can make it work. I feel like at some point I need to clarify for someone that like someone's gonna be watching. It's like, this guy's a fucking asshole. I'm like, it's a fucking joke. Just in case someone missed that memo, I just got to clarify. Now I'm going back to the joke. Okay, thank you. Oh man! All right, next you have one here that I haven't gotten to try yet, and I'm excited to hear what your thoughts were on it.
It's a game that I saw pop up with many streamers, and they were all raving about it. It's called Keep Driving.
Keep driving.
And this game is just about vibes, Danny.
Okay.
Vibes. So basically, you have a week, I think, to get to your friend's house, driving there, and you get to choose like which roads will I take to get there, which music do I play to try and get there, how do I handle like puddles in the road or slower cars ahead, how do I handle mechanical failures. It's a vibe. Like, okay. I don't even drive or live in the US, but this game made me nostalgic for like those long road trips.
This game made me want to drive in the US, Danny.
Yes, exactly. It's true.
Oh, that's
like the music is like perfect for this setting. Because like it's I think it's set in the 80s. Okay. And you have like these cassette tapes that you can use to play your music, and I don't know why, but it just awoke this feeling of nostalgia, and I don't know why, because I've never been on a fucking road trip.
But it's like I have, This is okay. Because we talked about it last week. You mentioned I kind of like looked at screenshots and couldn't really wrap my head around like what exactly it would be. And seeing this trailer and maybe it's like the edgier version, but I don't know if you remember. You remember 3/4 Home?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm getting that vibe, like the 2D side scroll, you're driving your car. That one's more dialogue decision based, where you're like, oh, I'm talking to my mom on the phone, and she's talking about like, why aren't you out here for your brother? And if I recall, I think your brother's like autistic, so he got like more attention than you at home, and that's like a thing you grew up with that like my parents take care of. But that totally unrelated to like this game. But I'm getting a similar vibe, but this is like the cool version of that, man. This has got shit in it. Yeah. This looks really cool.
Yeah. It's like it's so much fun. I struggled a little bit with a part of the gameplay because, for example, while you're driving, you'll get to face puddles in the road or like actual potholes or slower driving cars or sheep in the road, and
damn sheep.
It's handling those is done through this kind of mini game where you use Polaroid pictures that are hanging from your rear view mirror.
Okay.
And you have to like use the power on those Polaroids to like make symbols go away on your dashboard. Okay.
Yeah, I saw something like that happen here, but I wasn't quite sure what was going on.
And I kind of struggled a bit with that.
Okay.
But once you figure it out, it's cool.
Okay.
I didn't get too deep into it yet because as you pick up hitchhikers, they will bring their own Polaroids, and then you can use their powers and stuff. Using those powers will also influence, for example, how tired you are. Because you also need to sleep, you need to eat.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain why this game is such a good time, but God, it is.
I can see it. Did you discover like what is like the fail state of it? Is there like I ran out of Polaroids, I couldn't get past an obstacle, it kind of ends? Is that something you got to experience?
At one moment, I ran out of gas, and then you can call your parents. But at the start of the game, you had to choose whether you have a good relationship with your parents, a decent relationship, or a bad relationship. Depending on your choice there is a fail state where you call them and they won't come and get you.
No.
And then you're out of gas and out of money in the middle of nowhere.
And then it's game over. It's just start over. Is that how they? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Interesting. Do you know what the benefit is of taking the bad relationship? Or is that more just hard, easy, medium type deal, or?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's just a difficulty setting.
I like that because it's such a unique difficulty setting. There's not like a do you want hard, easy, it's like, do you love your parents or do you hate your parents? Which one is it, bud? I like that. Oh, that's really cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck. We need 2 weeks of Next Fest.
Yeah. I can especially imagine like people from the United States loving this even more than I do.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if this setting is like familiar, then this will hit home even more.
I love it. This looks really cool.
Yeah.
Fucking ass, goddamn it! It's downloaded. I know it's downloaded. It's behind a bunch of windows now. But the most important question: how woke is it? How woke is Keep Driving?
I have seen nothing to suggest that it would be woke yet.
Let's go, guys. Tofr picked a not woke game. Let's go.
I am deeply ashamed.
Oh, dude. Nah,
I'll make up for it with my next game. It's fine.
God, dang it, guys. I thought we fixed it. Oh, well. Did I timestamp? No, I did. No, it might be 2. We'll see. Let me see. Let me find my next game. My next game was actually the thumbnail for my previously mentioned video, and it is called Overthrown. So Overthrown is a like farm sim multiplayer game where you and your friends, you can build your town, you can fight off bandits. But the biggest thing is that like all your characters are just like insanely super strong, and you're basically Sonic the Hedgehog. It just makes the locomotion so much fun. So like when you start the game, you spawn in the world, they're like, hey, put a town hall down. You put down a town hall, and that's kind of like where you're building your base of operations. And then as you do that, you explore, you cut down trees, you earn experience points. The more experience points you get, the more things you can unlock. in your worlds. You can build refineries, you can build sawmills, you can do et cetera, et cetera. We were still figuring out all the stuff. Kanai got a little crazy and figured out how to get the shovel, and you could do like the Shovel Knight plunge. We could not figure out how to replace the dirt. So we just had a bunch of holes in our cam. I'm like, damn it, Kanai, I don't know how to fix this now. He's like, Connor will figure it out. Connor's having some connectivity issues. I think right now for PC, I had to put on like the lowest visual setting. And even then, like, it was really, I got the frame rate back, but it was very like crunchy visually, like super pixely. That's really the only complaint I had. I think I've seen some people being like, yeah, just, I'm hoping they add more. I'm like, well, yeah, it's a demo. It's not even like early access yet. Like, it's not done, but they will add more. I know they will. I just enjoyed what made it stand out being the locomotion and the ability to move stuff. Like running into the woods, you could just yank a whole ass tree out of the ground and just start carrying it. And then you chuck it at the sawmill. It's not like a walk over here, put it in the chest and like, all right, that's going to turn into planks in a couple days. No, it's just like whop, bam, you throw it into the saw, turns into wood. And then you have like a town inventory of like, here's all the wood that I have. And then as you're crafting stuff, it'll take from that. And then when you're crafting, you can build like the ghost version of it because you're out of resources. And then as you go out and you pick up rocks and stuff, it'll apply it in order of the stuff you put. It's like we unlocked the stairs. So if I'm like, cool, I need 20 stairs to go from down here to up there, but I didn't have enough stone. So I went out, broke a bunch of stone. As I was going to the inventory, it was just like, oh, cool, that one stair completed because now you had the stuff for it. So you can kind of like, if someone wants to stay back and like ghostly build everything, you can go back and do that and get all the materials you want. The combat was fairly simple so far, but we unlocked, I think, 3 of the weapons. There was the sword, there's the long sword. I think there was something else, but I don't quite remember. We were all kind of doing our own thing. Someone was building town. I went out and started fighting bandits. Kanai was kind of breaking down all the resources and leveling us up. But it's cool. I'm hoping to see them add more and more stuff as you go. But I love their social media presence with this game. The way they talk about it's like, oh yeah, you could just launch yourself across. Or like if you don't want to necessarily leave the sawmill somewhere, you can just pick it up and run through the woods. And as you're smacking the sawmill into trees, it's cutting them down. So it's probably the optimal way to clear out places. But it's just goofy. It's fun. And yeah, you do all these Sonic moves. You freaking blitz across the water. Like you'll run on water. You can drift. So you can be like, just curve around a corner and come back in. It's just fun. This is wild. It's over the top and it's great. I love it.
Cool. Do you think that it's going to be as much fun single player as it is multiplayer?
I think it's going to depend person to person. I think it's like, I would say as far as the multiplayer went, there wasn't a lot of like interaction, right? So like when I'm playing Minecraft, I think there was probably friendly fire. I probably smacked Connor Kanai a handful of times, but like, I don't know how dependent my experience would be on multiplayer as opposed to like I'm having fun with my friends versus like we did something together, I guess. Yeah. I could see myself getting lost in it single player, building a town. Cause I think there'll be like, oh, we have a goofy town that'll be called, Butt Town, and this is where haha goofy haha, and then like my single player where I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna put this over here, I'm gonna make sure this is here, I gotta put up the fences so nobody's taking out my people, I don't want raiders to take my stuff, I gotta clean up all the logs because I don't want them laying around, because if you leave the stumps, I don't know if they grow back, but like you get extra material if you just rip the whole tree out as opposed to just cutting it down. And I think there'll be 2 states of mind with how people choose to play it, or at least how I choose to play it. And I think multiplayer would be the goofy, funny ha-has, and then single player would be like, oh, bet, I'm gonna build a fucking town, baby. I'm going all in.
Okay.
Yeah. It's fun. It's a good time. What rec?
It looks cool. It looks cool.
My scene, there we go. Well, my scene wouldn't switch. Try it 3 fucking times. Now. The wokeness of this game, Tofr.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. There, I haven't seen relationships or anything yet. Science is an important part of this game. You got the upgrades, but right now, the only character model is a woman. So,
a strong woman.
A strong woman. A woman stronger than an average man. Which means I have to dock them games too woke. Games too woke. I'm sorry. It just... And when it's too woke, we can't recommend it. We can't play it. But I'm going to break character here. You should play Overthrown because it's really fun. I think I will enjoy this a lot more on console when it comes out, because I think I have to worry about my PC being whatever and blah, 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 blah. But yeah, I'm playing the PlayStation trailer as we discussed it. I'm like, yeah, I'll have fun with this on PlayStation whenever that officially comes out.
Is there a date for it?
I'm checking right now. The PlayStation page is taking 14 years to load. It just says announced on PlayStation, so nothing there, but overthrown on Steam. Sorry, I was flanging there. It says 2024. I don't know how reliable that is. That might have just been a placeholder that hasn't been updated. But I don't see anything otherwise.
Okay.
Yeah, so
that does remind me, like, after we do the this week's releases, I have something I want to mention.
Oh, okay.
Keep it in mind. Keep it in mind.
Okay, hold on. Tofr wants to mention a thing.
Yeah.
It's striked out. I want it striked out here. Anyway, timestamp. Hey, what else did you play?
Next up, I'm going fully woke. Yeah, it's usual June.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's valid.
I mean, you play as a black woman. It's going to be on the list.
I'm putting it already.
Yeah.
You don't even have to. You can tell us about the game in a second. Too woke. All right. Anyway.
Yeah.
Tell about this usual June stuff.
It's a third-person action-adventure game with a very mysterious setting. As you go ghost chasing with your friend, you get sucked into a portal, trying to get the ghost that you were chasing home. That's all I can say about the story in the demo, because I don't want to spoil too much. But like, the writing and the dialogues is a lot of fun. Combat feels really good. Like when we spoke about this demo before, you mentioned that it felt like a better version of Dungeons of Hinterberg.
Yeah. And
I concur.
Yeah.
It feels so smooth to play. And even for someone who's bad at combat in games like I am, this really felt good to play. I'm just intrigued. I have no idea if like the part of the demo, if that's in the beginning of the game or if that's a bit later on already. Because when you start the demo arriving at this place and it feels like you're in the middle of an existing conversation. So I have no idea. But it's a good introduction to the game. And the world you travel to when you go through the portal, it looks insanely good.
Yeah.
It's so colorful. It has this atmosphere. There's the big bad guy that you're gonna fight at some point.
That big old
There's so much to love here. Yeah.
I had a blast. We talked about it. Yeah, I think last week or the week before, one or the other. I had played the demo before I knew it was part of Next Fest. And I had mentioned same thing you said. This was the, like, if this is my 2025 like Dungeons of Hinterberg, awesome, cool. Like it plays great. I love the visual style. I'm scared to death that it's gonna get Dustborn and just be like, black woman, I don't think so. I'm hoping that this doesn't seem like it's taking the direction of like take down the man, this, that, and the other, hierarchy, matriarchy, patriarchy. Like, it doesn't seem like it's gonna be any of it. It looks like it's just dawn to dawn. With a black woman, ghost, aliens, one or the other. I'm not sure. But I love this demo that we played, and I'm looking forward to the rest of it.
Yeah, I do wonder if the choice to not have it be voice acted is like an actual choice or a necessity because due to budget.
Yeah,
because like the dialogue was really well written, but I can imagine the Simlish type noises that your characters make that might get annoying.
Yeah. I think it was definitely annoying voice acting it because I'm sure I was doing like Billy. I'm like, oh god, this. I didn't know because at first we thought it was censor beeps, like, oh, he's swearing, but oh no, he's like, there's a language barrier where he's saying something that's not understandable, and I'm like, oh, and then I couldn't for a while tell if it was not understandable to June or not understandable to us, and that's because we only know so much about June in the snippet that we get. We don't know what all she can or can't do yet. So yeah. There's gonna be a lot to unfold in this one, and I'm hoping it's just like super dope.
Yeah. Also, the ghost's design was really cool.
Yeah, he's sick. I think was Billy the ghost, or was that the bad guy?
I think so.
Okay.
No, I think that's the ghost.
Yeah.
Oh, Teddy.
Cool too. Teddy, not Billy. Yeah, I know what I was talking about. It was a test. You passed. Good job.
I just noticed it because it popped up in the video.
Hey, I was seeing if you knew. I knew, obviously. Hell yeah. And let's see. We already know it's too woke. Don't even have to go there again. But hell yeah. Yeah, usual June. This is cool. Looking forward to
I'm
more.
Curious, like, your next game, is this one that the Indie Maniac mentioned?
Yes, it is. It is that game. And I remember I added to my wish list on that episode when Indie Maniac came around. What a hooligan. Let me tell you something about this Indie Maniac guy. This motherfucker, every time he joins my stream, whatever it is, he's like, how about you get good? Dog, it's not the same thing every time. It's not the same thing. I could trash a boss in Elden Ring. He's like, how about you get good? I'm like, shut your mouth. Make a new joke. Be funnier. It's crazy. It's wild, this guy's. Anyway. Yeah, don't follow that guy. But yes, so I played a game and it's called Is This Game Trying to Kill Me? I forget the developer, but I guess they have a couple other games. Actually, I'm on the Steam page. Let me just pull it up. The developer is Stately Snail. State. I think it's. I can't tell. I think it's a T. Stately Snail. They made quite a few other games. Again, Indie Maniac brought it up on the episode that they came around. But essentially, it is this escape room simulator, which like. That alone already had me. But what I love about it is that you work in two realities. There's the room that you're in, and then there's this PC game you're playing on the computer. Okay. I was roaming around the room, like not really sure what to do. And at first I thought the PC game was one of those like, oh, look, there's a goofy game on the side of the screen. You can play it if you want to do some extra stuff, but they are tethered together. So like in the game, you'll walk in and you'll find like these 4 banners hanging up. And when you step out of the screen, you're like, oh, wait, there's these things on the wall. Like if I click that, like boom, 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 it activates the next thing in the game. You move forward. Once you get in there, you'll find like there's this one they're showing now where it's a skeleton who's like, guess which card is, he has like all jokers that which one's the 6. But when you lean in the game, you can put the camera behind the skeleton. And when you lean back from the computer on the picture on your left, it shows the camera that you moved. So you're getting a look over the skeleton's shoulders to see like what cards he's holding. So you're like, it's in your left hand. He's like, how did you know? All right, try again. Right. And it's in the middle. Like it was really cool. The multiple reality, like you're messing with everything in game. It changes stuff out of game. Holy shit. That didn't happen for me in the demo. This guy got stabbed through the monitor. There's other ones where like you have to move a platform through the water and like, there's not an up button. You can only go left, right, and down, but I have to go up to solve the puzzle. And I'm like, I can't quite figure this one out. Then I like move back from the monitor and there is a 3D version of one of the buttons on the shelf in the room. And I'm like, got it. So I have to go like left, out of the computer, up, back in, up, like, you know, move where I need to go, step back out, move the platform, move my character in game. And it's just these constant back and forth of like fixing it in the game, the game in the game, and then just the game itself. So like all these layers. And it's really cool. I haven't played any of the other Stately Snail games. I know Indie Maniac told us how great they are. But like just the polish and quality I saw in this, like I'm gassed. This was sick. This is probably definitely my top 5 for Next Fest. I really enjoyed my time at this one. Okay. So it was really cool.
It looks really cool. Like I love the visual style, but just the idea of it as well. It kind of reminds me of what's the game called? Where you're running around with your Game Boy, but you also
Screenbound.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of that, where you're influencing the world in 2 different ways at once.
Yeah.
But this looks. Yeah, I can imagine. I was thinking about playing this demo, and now I wish I had.
Yeah. Well, is it still on? It's still on there. You can still play it. And this one comes out next month too. So not like this one's right around the corner. So I'm excited to play like that full thing.
And then I'll wait. I might wait until the full release.
Let's see. Yeah, you got a couple weeks. Number 13. Okay. I looked at it, I'm like, I thought I saw 14 somewhere else, but I think that was something else that was on November 14th or something. Okay. That might have been Keep Driving. Was it? I forget.
No.
Fuck if I know. There's so many games. Is this game trying to kill me? Too woke. No, I don't think so.
The trailer did not seem to suggest that.
I had to stop and think. I was like, you're one character. You don't like talk or anything. There's no like conversation that would give me any knowledge about you. I think you're a white guy. I have no reason to believe you're not a white guy, based on the sprite, you know. I think this is a safe one. I think not woke for this game tries to kill me. Now watch at the end. They're like, I spared you because you were gay, just like me. And then they start kissing. And then that's how you get them. That's how you get those big old sweaty men. Just trick them.
All of a sudden, like the back wall just evaporates, and it's this game trying to smooch me.
You imagine you beat the game, roll credits, and the whole logo changes, and it's just on the main screen. You can do New Game Plus, but you're just like, wait, what's trying to kiss me? I don't know what's going on. That's fucking great. All right, let me see here. You got another one here. This is the one I'm not familiar with. But timestamp. We got that. Talk about this next guy in here.
Yeah, I have no idea how I ended up downloading this one.
Okay.
It's called Urban Myth Dissolution Center.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a visual novel. I do like visual novels.
Yeah.
Like, I get that they're not for everyone, but I like them. And this is really my kind of visual novel. It's not one of the dating ones where you're like, there's 3 schoolgirls and they want to date me. Who do I choose? This one has like the investigative stuff similar to games like Ace Detective. Is that the name?
Ace Attorney. Yeah.
Ace Attorney, yeah. Oh god, Ace Detective.
You're thinking Professor Layton something detective. I don't fucking know. Those games are cool. I just never played them.
So basically, you are a girl who sees things. And you go to the Urban Myth Dissolution Center to try and find help. There you find this person who tricks you. Because he's like, have a seat. And then you have a seat on the chair, but then something pricks you from the chair. Okay. And you're like, what was that? And he's like, oh, wait, that was a cursed chair. Everyone who sits in that chair dies. And you're like, what? And then you have to use because apparently the visions that you have means that you have clairvoyance, and you have to use your clairvoyance skills to like try and figure out how to survive.
Yeah.
And when you manage to do that, you destroy the chair because obviously it's a danger. And then the guy from the dissolution center, he's like, oh man, that chair was like hella expensive. You're gonna have to work here now to like pay off your debt to us.
I'll do it.
And then you get sent on your very first mission.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. Like the writing is fun. The visual style is cool. It has like this kind of retro vibe. Mm-hmm. And like switching between your regular vision and your clairvoyance vision is an interesting feature. I'm just mostly intrigued by like what's going on.
Yeah, this one's definitely got me by the visual style. I like the sprite work. It looks really cool. It might just be like the anime fan of me, like, ooh, I feel like this could be a cool murder mystery anime. You know, I'd be all in for this. Yeah, this looks fire.
It was one of the demos. Like I played a lot of demos during Next Fest, and this was one of the demos that I couldn't put down. Okay. And I was surprised by that, because there weren't many demos where I had that feeling. I played a lot of demos that I really enjoyed, but this one I really struggled to put down.
Did you like finish the demo? I don't know how. Usually, sometimes visual novels. Okay, they have like long demos sometimes.
Yeah, and I didn't want to spoil too much of the story.
Fair enough.
So I forced myself to stop playing, but it was hard to stop because I was invested.
Yeah. It looks lit. And then that's February next year. That's PlayStation, Switch, Steam. Okay. Yeah, I could be into this one. I think I'll have to like watch the trailer back and like kind of listen to it. Seeing it visually, like the art style is definitely there. I really like what I'm seeing. But yeah, I'm intrigued with that one now. Wish list.
And then the big question.
Right. Almost forgot. Yeah, how could I forget?
I have not seen anything yet to suggest that this game is woke.
Okay. But there's women in it, Tofr.
Yeah, you play as a woman, so maybe that makes it woke.
You know what? I'm putting that woke. put not woke. Trust you. But listen, if the integrity of this podcast find out later that this thing's too woke and we said it's not woke, how do they trust us anymore? How do they trust us?
You'll find out in February because I'm definitely playing this one.
Hey, there we go. Boop, timestamp. Now, I had just changed my next one because I totally forgot I talked about that one last week. I was like, oh, I already talked about Disposition. You can find it on last week's podcast where we talked about Neva and Europa. So let's tip the scales here. I played this 2D platformer and it's called Mainframes. This is one that I kind of just stumbled upon. I think I was actually looking for key art of the game, and someone else's thumbnail came up, and I'm like, oh yeah, I was looking for that. So like I got the inspiration to check it out. But you are this little floppy disk like digital character. I'm imagining you're kind of like a Clippy type deal, like from Microsoft Word, and you are jumping through PC windows. Sometimes like they have glitches in them. Sometimes you're cutting from one screen to another. Some of the windows are like too small. So you have to use the cursor to kind of make it stretch out. And then you have to run and platform and jump to the next one before it like shrinks again. You'll pick up keys to unlock certain doors. Sometimes you can drag and drop windows. I got to one point, I wasn't quite sure what to do. That's kind of where I stopped my demo, but you like pick up these little like this little white silhouette guy and he like changed the colors of me, which I think gave me access to separate windows, but I still couldn't figure out how to platform. But it was cute. There's not a whole lot more that I have to say on it. It's a 2D platformer. It's going to have interesting puzzles based on just like what computers do, but also look at the little guy. He's so cute. He's just a little floppy disk. But yeah, no, I thought it was cool. I'm excited to see what more is there in terms of like diversity of levels. Most of the ones I got to play were see if I could move the window or not. I did start playing with a controller because it's a platformer. Once I got to the window stuff, I wasn't loving the way it felt. I think you had to use like the bumpers to like move which was selected. And sometimes that felt like it wasn't. I don't know if that was my mouse being weird of like, it's kind of in the window. So it's like auto selecting something else when I'm trying to do the controller. So I don't know if it's just get finicky with me. But other than that, the platforming itself was fine. I think there's another game that came out last year, or was it this year? I forget. It's called Bzzzt. It's like BZZZZT. That's a little more fast-paced Mega Man-like. But this is a little slower, a little more meticulous. So far, you're not like running from enemies or combating anything. You're just dealing with the level hazards. It seems like casual and chill enough. I would recommend.
It reminds me a bit of that game, but I forget the name, with the traffic signs.
Pedestrian, yeah?
Pedestrian,
yeah. Pedestrian, yeah. Kinda, yeah. I don't know how far it's gonna go in terms of like the diversity of like, I went from the bathroom sign to the bus to the blah, blah, blah. I'm assuming we're all locked in this like one computer and going from program to program. But if it does do anything like that and kind of expands, like if I end up on like a tablet or something, I'm assuming because we're on like a retro ass computer, it's probably not that modern unless it's like some kid fucking around with old technology. But I think that'd be really cool if I end up on like the App Store or some shit. Like that'd be a fun departure for it.
Yeah, it could be cool if they like updated the OS between levels.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
And you play through the history of computer systems.
I'd love that. I just jump into like Mac OS all of a sudden. I'm like, ooh, why is it so stale? Sorry, Apple. I'm standing by it. Android all the way. Let's see. Is Mainframes too woke? Now, the game itself can't be too woke, but I gotta tell you, Tofr, I don't know what data's on that floppy disk. It could be anything. It could be some propaganda. I'm feeling like a sick person the way I'm having these conversations. Like I shouldn't be this person. But I'll say Mainframes, not woke.
But your main character is black.
Oh shit, you're right. He's okay, yeah. I put 3 O's, too woke. Got it. They thought they could hide it from me. They had me for a second. Those are the eyes of a white person. I'll tell you that, Tofr. You noticed that black guy from a mile away. Yep. Too woke.
Yep.
Fucking floppy disk out here playing games. That's crazy. Let's see. Timestamp. Let's see. We're at hour 40, so let's get it rolling. What's next?
I can go a bit faster if you'd like.
We can make it work, you know. Okay. I think as long as we don't hit 3 hours, we'll be fine.
I don't know. Let me see. Next up, I have Locomotive,
Yeah,
which
baby.
is another game that I've had my eye on for a very long time
Mm,
now, and it's a spiritual successor to like the LucasArts kind of point and click adventure
yeah.
games. But it's set on, and well, most of it is set on a train, and it's like this whodunit storyline, basically Knives Out on a train.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to spoil too much.
Yeah.
There's an old lady who's like about to explain where her inheritance is going, and then she dies. And yeah, and your character is like the police think you did it,
Please,
and
it
it's up
was
to you to it's up to you to find out who actually did it. And I have to say, like the animations are gorgeous.
Mhm.
The voice acting is just superb,
Hell yeah.
and the game, like, I usually don't play point and click games because I find the logic too hard to comprehend.
That's valid. Yeah.
Like you have to combine this item with that item to like unlock this, and I need like more of a guiding hand to be like, maybe you
Yeah.
should try this. And this game holds your hand just enough
Okay.
so that someone like me can enjoy it. I think purists who enjoyed the old LucasArts games, they might think this is too easy.
Okay.
I haven't checked if there's like difficulty settings to make it more
Mhm.
difficult. But this is being published by Chucklefish, and I think this is gonna be another big hit for them.
Yeah, we love a good Chucklefish game. We love a good Chucklefish. Yeah, I'm excited to hear you like the voice acting because I had played the previous demo, which was no voice acting yet. It was all just dialogue. I don't even know if they had planned for it, and maybe that was some feedback they got in the first one. And I meant to check out this one, just haven't gotten around to it. But yeah, I really enjoyed the first demo and all the puzzles and the point and click stuff. Also, not a big point and click guy. Just always depends on the tone, the atmosphere, what the game is. But I really vibe with this one. So hearing that what is now there in this new demo has improved is even better. It still says Q4 2024, so I don't know if we're getting this one as like a Merry Christmas gift. We're gonna see.
Would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. The big difference with like traditional point and click games is in this demo, at least, when you have your room to explore, there's like tiny markers.
Okay.
And they're like, here's something that you can interact with.
Yeah.
Where the older kind of games in this genre would be like, here's your room, just click everything.
Have fun, yeah. I wish I saved it. I'm sure I could probably find it, but it was a TikTok that was about old point and click games. And it's someone like, I can't reach the thing on the shelf. And there's like a ladder right next to them. Like, that's not going to help me right now. Like,
no.
So what do I have to do? Yeah, it's just like, take the sticks, take the string. I tie it all together. I just made a ladder. Like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, yeah, that's about right. That's about right.
Yep.
Yeah,
like,
dog.
for example, in the beginning of this demo, you're being interrogated at the police station.
Okay.
And you, for a moment, both of the officers leave the room.
Yeah.
But you are chained to your chair. And the key to unlock the chain is right there, but you can't reach it. So you have to use this electric fan and a rolled up newspaper to try and get the key to fall towards you.
Yeah. It's fun. It's a good time. It's a great time. Yeah. I do remember struggling with that room for a while, like trying to figure out what I needed to do. And then I think I picked up the paper and what the fuck I did the thing where I was like, click the inventory, check, nope, check, no, check, no, check, no. It's not working with anything. Next item, check, no. And so like something worked. I'm like, all right, cool. Order of operations, guess and check. We got it.
That's basically how you play point and click.
Oh yeah. Yeah, hopefully it'll be out by the end of the year, or it could take its nice sweet time so we can play other things, and then we could talk about that for 2025. We'll see what happens, you know?
Would be nice.
It's a good time.
Would be nice.
Yeah. But Locomotive, is it woke?
I don't think so. I haven't seen anything to suggest any wokeness here.
Okay.
Sadly.
I'm going to point out you can play as a black woman. She's one of the characters, so but
Oh, you can play as her. Okay, then that's woke.
I think so. Yeah. It's like, ooh, yikes! You know what? You might be
Chuck
right.
it in there.
All right, too woke. Too woke. You had the double whammy. You got black, you got woman, then you got a black woman. Then you're like, oh, woke. DEI, man. Sorry. Who worked in this one? Sweet Baby Inc. Yeah. Sorry, usual June. I won't tell anybody. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, Locomotive.
Tell me about your next game then.
I will, because this is probably a banger for this month. This comes out, I think, when the episode drops. It came out yesterday. Rivals of Aether 2 is here. Another one for our multiplayer stream. Had a good time playing it. We were not, like, our friend group wasn't big on Rivals 1. Like, we liked it. It was a good game. It was fun. But we were definitely more of like, let's just play Smash. And I think now we're in a spot where like Smash Ultimate is kind of just like not died down, but like we got our final character. They're not really adding anything. This is like the new kid on the block, and I really like that it's 3D over pixel art. I learned how punishing this game can be. Not that it's hard, but like in Smash, I think I have the option of like I can kind of not spam a move, but I can kind of hit the input like a bunch of times and still kind of land it. Rivals seemed a lot more punishing of like, if you're going to try and swing this and you're not going to hit somebody, they're going to have the chance to hit you. And I did this all basically just doing 1v1s with Kanai. He played a lot more Rivals 1 than I did. So I had to play like catch up for a minute. But like every character in this has been a blast so far. I haven't played the Claren here if you're watching the video one. I've not played them, but they were like the only character I was finding online. I'm like, oh, this is going to be like the Fox of the game. I could tell. I sucked with Arcane. He was tough. But Rano is like the frog who plays similarly enough to Greninja from Smash Bros. So I'm like, all right, this is my main. I love this. And I also love elephants. So there's Loxodon, who's just a heavy elephant with a hammer, which is just like everything I could ask for. Sorry, an axe, not a hammer. But yeah, I had a great time. The game is visually stunning. The combat was really fun. I think as I get used to the timing and like how it plays and like kind of getting better and not just hitting a button until maybe it like hits the guy, I'll get a lot better at it. I'm hoping we can play some of it at Extra Life coming up here on November 9th. Remember that, guys? And all the upcoming content is the characters are going to be free. So we're starting with a roster of 10. Ooh. Every time they make a new character, I think their plan, if I recall watching the video, is like 4 characters a year, 1 every quarter. I think stages are also free, and then they have like a shop, a microtransaction shop where you can buy skins. They had a preview of the skins. I didn't buy any because I didn't know if the content would transfer to the full game. But like the skins have been killer so far. There's a Rano with like a beanie, so I'm like, well, that's just perfect for me. So I got to buy that one. There is Zetterburn. So there's Rivals of Aether 1. There's also Lovers of Aether. I think it's Dungeons of Aether, the other 2 games. Zetterburn has his Lovers of Aether, so he's got like his varsity jacket skin. There's Raster the bird, who has like a mech version. Like they put all his love into making these skins, which like Smash does sometimes, but they're just like, how about we just make a palette swap? And like most of the times they are just like, it's Charizard, but he's blue and he's green and he's black, and they're just it's very simple. But like these are one of those things. Now, I'm a big proponent of like paid games shouldn't have paid microtransactions. It's just a little too much. Yeah. I tend to be a little more lenient on indie games depending on what they are. I would love if there was a way to earn the currency from playing online so you can buy it in game. But I don't think everything looks too egregious, especially because it's cosmetic, which like you don't need any of it to play the game. If you want it, cool, you can get it. But if you just want to play the game as it is with the default skins, you're fine. So there's no like egregious microtransactions, but yeah, I enjoyed everything about it. I wanted to play more, but then I was online with the sweat, so I'm like, okay, so now I cannot play because I'll lose to everything. Okay. It's fun. It's really fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does combat, like if I recall correctly, you really enjoyed the combat in Spiritfall, which was a similar game but single player. Does this combat feel as smooth as it did in Spiritfall?
It is the similar inputs, right? It is the platform fighter. It plays the same way, the side attacks, the up attacks, the neutrals, the whatever. I think Spiritfall is a lot snappier and a lot quicker. This definitely felt slower, and again, I think that comes to like how meticulous you have to be. There were quite a few moments, and I don't know, for a while I thought it was my controller being weird. I switched controllers like 2 or 3 times. I couldn't really wrap my head around it. In Smash, I think the turning is a lot quicker, right? Or at Spiritfall too. Like if I'm running forward and I miss somebody with an attack, I can turn around and quickly hit them. I felt like my turns were so much slower than other games in the genre, where I was like, again, this might just be the choice in the way they build the game, is something I have to adjust to. But as someone who was like, let me snap back into my Smash and Spiritfall like muscle memory, it was a lot slower than that. So it wasn't like a 1-for-1 swap. But yeah, if you like platform fighters, same basic controls, the same inputs, the same whatever. But yeah, definitely a little heftier, not quite as snappy.
Okay. But let's hope it gets the player base.
Yeah, I mean the first game it was super successful. It was like if you don't play Smash, you play Rivals. And like out of all the other, like you have your Nickelodeon All-Stars, your multiverses, and those tend to like come and die. The thing is, the first game had workshop support. This game will also have it. The big thing they said though, with like in Steam, it's a lot easier to make pixel art and then put that character in the game, as opposed to everyone having access to 3D modeling and putting characters in the workshop. I think they said they have plans to implement the workshop. They're expecting less content just because, again, the transition from pixel art to 3D. But it's going to be there. So if anyone wants to get creative and add new stuff, skins, et cetera, characters, the options are going to be around. So I'm excited to see what the fan base does with it. They seem to have a pretty active fan base. They do their own like Rivals Direct every year, every couple months or something like that. So they got a community. So I think they'll be Gucci.
Nice.
Yeah. Too woke? Couldn't imagine. Not even close. This game, it's all about beating up animals. And what else could you want other than beating up animals? Not woke in the slightest.
Who doesn't enjoy beating up?
Exactly.
That's the second game of yours where you beat up animals, by the way.
I don't know what you're trying to say.
Edge of Allegoria? I don't know.
Oh, I thought you were going to include Wildwoods because they also beat up animals. But you are an animal, so that's survival of the fittest. Yeah, listen, I'm just saying. I don't know what you're trying to pin on me here. Like, oh, I like to beat up animals. No, not regularly. Maybe in a video game. But like, yeah. Would recommend go punch a squirrel today, guys. Have a good time. I forgot if I timestamped, but now we did. All righty. What we got next? Ooh, we got next, Tofr.
Listen. A fellow traveler is publishing a game, and they have a demo for it. Then I'm gonna play it.
Yep.
Great God Grove is a game which sucks.
Damn. Well.
Yeah,
there you have it.
But literally, because you have like this vacuum type of thing that you use to suck up items, but as people can see in the video version as well, you can suck up what people are saying and use those words in other places.
Yeah, dude.
So I guess it takes some inspiration from something like Baba Is You.
Okay.
And it's really cool. Like the vacuum mechanic really works well. The setting is interesting because like if I remember correctly, the gods have to like postpone the end of times every couple of years, and you arrive in the game just when that's about to happen. But because they're like fighting amongst each other, they're too busy to like stop the end of the world. So you have to step in and try and help.
The gods are too busy, so we had to postpone the end of that. That's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, it looks great. It plays great. It sounds great. This is like, I know I might sound biased because it's a fellow traveler game, but this again,
it's hard not to be,
It just feels so. It feels so polished, like like it's like with Devolver games. That you're gonna get like a really finished product with almost no bugs.
Yeah.
And this is just one of those games that should be a hit. If it's gonna turn out that way, I don't know, because I felt the same way with Times and Galaxy, and that did not sell well.
Yeah.
And I don't get it, and so I'm hoping that this game does better, because it has the same polish. It's so much fun. It's really funny, you know. Like
Yeah.
I usually don't like humor in games, but this game is funny.
Mm-hmm. Another one where I played the Ludonarracon demo. I'm assuming it's the same one. I love Limbo Lane. They made Smile for Me, which I got the platinum twice, PlayStation 4 and 5. I loved that game. This one's a lot more my speed in terms of just the general perspective, gameplay loop, et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, I loved the first demo. I love the stealing the words and sending them to people. Another one I put in like the demos you should try out video, where I was just like, yeah, you're like, oh, I'm tired of being here. And you go steal the words like, go on break already. And you throw the words to someone else like, go on break already. Okay, sure, I'll do that. And they leave, and then you can explore a new area. Yeah. And then I guess this is the Limbo Lane staple, but they have like a head nod mechanic where they put you in first person and you actually nod up and down or left and right for yes and no. And the characters, the more you do it, it'll like fill a gauge like, oh, cool, it's done. So you did say yes. Cool. Or you did say no. And it's not even like it's a big deal, but it's just kind of like unique and just cool. It's a staple for Limbo Lane. I like it.
Yeah, it helps the immersion.
I'll shake my head yes and no all day, baby.
Good time. And I think that's another November release.
It is November, double checking, 15th. November 15th. Yeah. It's right around the corner.
We're basically making your video right now.
We are. They were released like 6, I think. So I'm probably honestly, Jill, I don't even need your website this month. Indie Informer, who are you? I don't know. I don't need you this month. We built the list, baby. Sorry, Jill. Appreciate you. Keep doing the great work you do. Indie Council. Now we got great God Grove. Is it woke?
There seem to be multiple gods, so I think that's probably woke now.
I see it.
Probably because there's not just one god. I don't know.
Yeah. Is there, assuming it's the same demo, was there the big muscular woman in the flannel jacket?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Strong woman, stronger than the man she loves. Woke.
Yeah.
Too woke.
I loved her, by the way.
Yeah,
like,
she's great.
Like,
she's so cool.
Why won't he tell me that he loves me? And then you get his confession and you throw it in her face.
Yeah. It's so good. It's so good. Ba-boom, timestamp. Alrighty. Now, I got another one here. Let me tell you. I actually
heard of this one.
So I got an email from the developers for this one.
Okay.
They were like, hey, we're at Next Fest. You want to try it out? The game is called Camilla and Laura. Why can I not find the Steam page? Okay. Maybe I spelled it wrong. This isn't good. This is really bad. Anyway, so essentially what the game is, it is a point and click adventure, and it is stylized as if it was like a child's drawing. It's color, it's crayons, and I'm gonna, it's an ampersand. Okay, fuck it. I have footage, Tofr. I have footage. I can get it. I can do it. What a mess to read. We got it. Open up. Drag it down. Stop talking out loud. Sorry.
This is what you get when you're 2 hours in.
Honestly. So, Camilla and Laura. You're playing as a single mom. From what I understand, I forget the logistics and the know-how say of it, but I think it's funded by like the Canadian government type deal. It is a point and click adventure where you're playing as a single mom. It's your daughter's like first week of school. And you're kind of going through the motions of like, oh God, life's hard. A single parent, taking your kid, going to school, having to take care of them, all that stuff. So far, it's fairly simple. There's not a whole lot to it, but I can feel that there's the potential for just one of those like heart-wrenching narratives to go with it. Okay. The demo was maybe 30 minutes, if I had to say, how long it took me to beat. It starts off, daughter's like, oh, I put my drawing in the fridge, like, let's get ready for school. She's like, do I have to brush my teeth? And I don't know how much it'll play into the decisions you make, but there's like a, yes, Laura, you have to go brush your teeth. Or there's like a, yeah, go brush your teeth. Like, there's kind of like the two different responses. Okay. But it's also like, it's that telltale thing of like, I'm seeing it written, but how is it said? How is it played? How does this character actually say it? So I don't know how many of those, like how much intensity it was, or like I'm talking to a kid, right? But you're preparing breakfast, so you're searching around the house, like, what can I make? I made toast, and it kept telling me I needed butter, but I couldn't find the butter. So I'm like, I don't know. And then I thought, did it mean peanut butter? It's like, ew, peanut butter? No, I don't think so. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? But I made her a bowl of cereal, milk. You just grab the stuff, you slap them together in the inventory like you would in any point and click. And then you move on, you put it on the table, she eats. I want to see if I have, there's a part where you're walking to school and you're kind of talking to her. I'm like, hey, what's going on, Camilla? Like, here's, she's asking like, why do I have to go to school? Oh, it's kind of what you do. It's like, why? Well, because you need to learn stuff. Why? And like, it's that cycle. But like, again, for video watchers, this is my favorite part. You get to the school, and you're in Canada, so people are speaking French, and the teacher introduces you like, it's like, oh, hey, welcome to school. And then speaks to you in French, essentially asks like, hey, welcome to the school. Welcome. We're going to meet your professor in a minute. And then you have the option of saying like agreeing. You can say, it was really funny. That high school French really came in handy, where it was basically like, you say yes, you say oui. You can say, sorry, I don't speak French. Or you can say, sorry, I don't speak French in French, which is pretty great. And then there's a lot of moments where the dialogue is either in French or in English. Now, I don't know if that is just, this is the build. I was lucky enough that like, I know enough conversational French that I could piece together what they were asking. There's a moment here where the guest, the teacher, the host, whoever, is just like, they ask what your name is. They ask in French. So, but the mom goes, oh, she's asking what your name is. And you respond with that. And you know, Camilla being like, oh, I have to talk to the strange adult next to my mom. So she's like, it's Camilla. And then kind of backs up and does that whole thing. You have to go shopping with whatever money you have to buy something like supplies, the folders, the erasers, everything. They give you like a limit of like, hey, here's how much money you have. But I can sit here and talk about each and single like moment. But you're going through like, what does a single mom have to deal with going to work, buying stuff, making dinner, making breakfast, going to bed, getting up, getting the kid ready, like the whole 9 yards. I basically played through a day of this game, and I really enjoyed it. I don't know that it is like the most astounding thing I've seen. I like how charming the art style is, because I could see a world like this is drawn. If it was drawn from the perspective of the kid and how they're seeing it, I think it would be really cool. Right now, it is very much just like you're seeing the perspective of the mom. So maybe there's like a childlike wonder to her, or it's just an artistic choice. I'm not entirely sure. I think there's one point where the mom says like, fuck off, or something like that, where I'm like, okay, so kids, just because it's drawn with crayon doesn't mean it's necessary for kids. So just keep that in mind. I think that's like the one thing, but yeah, it was fun. I appreciate the devs reaching out. It's definitely one like I would not have found with this year's like format of Next Fest. So I'm glad I got to check it out. You can also watch cat videos on your computer at work.
They nailed those background.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, no, it was cool. But I definitely want to see more of it. I could see this being like one of those afternoon, like somewhere between 3 to 5 hours to beat the whole thing. I think it's still fairly early in development. So I don't know when that'll be out. But yeah, it was charming. I think it's got a nice little tail to it.
Cool.
However, I'm playing as a woman with a daughter. There's no men in this household. Too woke.
Oh God.
Too woke.
A single woman?
A single woman. No man in her life. Like, what does this dev want to do? Like, just get rid of men? Okay. All right.
Like,
okay.
You need a dad there, like traditional values and stuff.
Exactly. And we get that. We get that, but they don't. And that's the problem. This is what people sound like. There are people that sound like this and genuinely mean it. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Anyway, now let me see here. How do you want to? Because like I got one game. You've got a corner. Do you?
I cheated.
Listen, I'm fine with it. Do you want me to knock out mine so you can just do your 4? Or
I can quickly go through my 4. It's not
Fair
like
enough.
we don't have to take as much time because it's my deck/dice builder corner.
Yeah, listen, go for it. Do what you gotta do.
And well, first of all, I had Toads of the Bayou, but I won't spend too much time on it because you talked about that one last week, I think.
Yes.
But basically, similar to Nights in Tight Spaces, the one that I played last week, it's a fun combination of grid-based, turn-based combat and roguelike deck builder.
Hell yeah.
And it's all about the visuals here. There also seem to be like a number of gameplay elements that I didn't try out yet. For example, you have traps that you can set.
Yep.
I also liked that like missions aren't just kill everyone.
Yeah.
There's like protect the ammo, protect this person. There's like other objectives than just beat everyone to death. So yeah, this one is releasing in November as well. So...
Fuck. Who needs Jill? I can do it myself. Yeah.
But yeah, this one is really cool. Then we have As We Descend.
Oh, okay. I forgot about this one.
Yeah, this is a very high polished deck builder. The visuals are fantastic here. This game seems to combine the best of games like Slay the Spire, Darkest Dungeon, and Hellcard.
Okay.
There's a whole city to explore and save through your expeditions, with lots of the dialogue told in a way that looks very similar to Disco Elysium.
Oh, hell yeah.
Which is always a good reference.
Yeah.
I actually stopped playing this quite soon because I didn't want to spoil it for myself. Because there's lots going on. Like, you have conversations with people, but then you have your expeditions where you do the actual battling. I wanted to save this one for the full release.
Yeah.
But
is that November
really
2 or?
The third one I have is Star Invaders.
Yes.
So this is basically Cobalt Core meets Space Invaders.
Okay.
Where you combine deck building roguelike mechanics with the original Space Invaders, like enemies dropping down every turn. The presentation and gameplay are extremely tight, especially for a game that's still some way from releasing. Like, I thought this was one that's gonna release maybe even this year, but it's set for like the second quarter of 2025.
What? Okay.
But yeah, it has everything that you could ask for, with like different mechs to use in combat, and the thing I thought was cool was you have different pilots per mech as well.
Okay. Hell yeah.
So yeah, and the big draw for this game is that Local Thunk, the developer behind Balatro, is a big fan of this one.
Okay, that's how you know it's a banger. From one road to another, like, oh, this is a good one. You gotta check this one out.
Yeah.
That's me from the card guy.
And then finally, to round off this corner, which is a weird sentence, we have Dice Gambit. Yeah. We have Dice Gambit, which is a dice builder instead of a deck builder. And despite some infuriating rolls, I still enjoyed this one.
Okay. Yeah, sounds like we got a bunch of snake eyes, didn't we?
It's like basically it's grid-based battles again, where you use your dice to like attack or defend or move. And yeah, it plays really well. And aside from the core gameplay loop, there's also like, you have to date people. You have to build up knowledge to help you in your travels. There's rival families in the city that you're supposed to save, which will come and play as well. It's really cool, and the visuals are just gorgeous.
I like it a lot.
I keep repeating myself, but there's some really good-looking deck builders and dice builders in this Steam Next Fest.
Yeah, there's so many bangers. I like the character designs in this one a lot.
Yeah.
Something about it just has a spice to it.
That was my little corner.
Now, here's where the challenge comes in. You have to give one woke or not woke review for all four combined.
All four combined.
You have to give the corner a woke or not woke. You can choose to dissect that percentage. Woke. Okay. Not even hesitation.
Woke. No. Star Invaders as female mech pilots.
No. This is why I haven't watched this Evangelion, blah, 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 whatever this shit is. You know what I mean? Women driving robots? Okay. Good one.
Got him.
Don't worry, guys. There's just one more. There's one more woke joke, and then we're done. It's one more. Just one more. Timestamp it up. I will round out this list of Steam Next Fest games with Call of Boba, which you talked about last week. I finally got to play it on stream. I loved it. I loved it so much because like I've seen the trailer so many times, and like in my head I'm like, oh, it is Moonlighter. It's Moonlighter with a penguin. But like until I actually got my hands on it, didn't really click that like this is Moonlighter and Coffee Talk. You're doing the thing where you create the recipe. You're like, cool, this is the boba. And then as you come in, or customers come in, like, I want this drink. You go to the station, blah, 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 and then you throw it out. It's not so much like Coffee Talk in the way that every drink when someone wants it, you're like, cool, I have to go pour the drink, pour the ingredients, stir it, put the foam on top. Like you do that one time per recipe. And then once you establish it, you have just the routine of the conveyor belt. You go grab the boba, grab the milk, grab whatever tea goes in, put it on the shelf. It was challenging getting everyone their drinks because sometimes people don't stay at the counter. So it's almost like as someone who's never worked at a Starbucks, like when I hear someone be like, April, and like they're not there to pick up their drink, and you're like, oh my God, get over here. But I can only run so fast with my little penguin legs, so I gotta run all the way out there, and they're already in the red, like, oh, take your drink. I gotta run back and build the next one, and the other guy's in his red. Yes.
Can't you just put the drinks in the shopping cart on the left?
So I see, I put one in by accident at one point, and I wasn't sure because like nothing happened. So I don't know if it's like the tutorial hadn't taught me how to do that or whatever, but I put it in there and I was like, nothing.
During the tutorial, okay. I put them in the cart, and then your boss, I guess, your childhood friend, he's the one who makes the delivery to the tables. Got it. So maybe it was happening and I wasn't, because I imagine he's just like, I taught you how to make boba, I'm gonna watch. So maybe he was on his way to do it, and I was just like, no one's doing anything. Like my eyes were locked on the guy who was supposed to get the damn boba. Okay. So maybe it did work, and I just panicked for no reason. But now I know for the future. This is how we live and learn. You had mentioned about the twin stick shooter stuff and like the dungeon. So you dream, in the dream, you fight a bunch of monsters, other animals, not really monsters. And you decide, like, you're like, oh, this is a recipe I want to build. You had mentioned like not loving the gameplay loop of it or like the actual controls. And I kind of agree with that. Yeah. Yeah. It's not like, it's not bad. Like, I don't think it's bad by any means. But it's definitely like, once I picked up the controller, I'm like, okay, yeah, this feels a lot better. I think I enjoyed maneuvering menus and making the boba with mouse and keyboard, and then doing the combat with the controller. I had the whole like controllers here, mouse keyboard. All right, do the stuff. All right, okay, then all right, switch again. Which like was fine for me. I don't think I would love to do that for many games, but this is what I'm like. I would do that. I would switch between two sets of controls to make sure I'm playing the optimal way for both. But yeah, no, it's Moonlighter, it's Coffee Talk, and I want it now. I want more boba. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I was really curious to find out what you were thinking about this one.
I'm double checking. I don't think that one has a date at all. Yeah, just coming soon. No date yet. So we gotta hope and dream. We gotta wait. Yeah. But as much as I love boba, I gotta tell you, there's some underlying flirtation between these two guys. I got this cat and this penguin flirting, kind of like, you want to come back to my house? You could stay there. Are you sure? I'm like, honestly, it's kind of gay coded, Tofr. So, boba might be too woke for us. I'll put too woke. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 not wokes, 1 informational, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 2 wokes for this next fest. So with that, Steam Next Fest, 2 woke. I better not see it next year. We better cancel this event. All right, and with that timestamp, woke joke's done. We're good. Let me see. We're already going a little bit long, but I guess if you want to just rattle off the list of what else we played, everyone's like, never heard of that, and then they can feel free to look up those games as they see fit. So you just want to rattle what else you played next fest?
I'm not gonna name all of them, but there's a couple that I feel still deserve some love. There's Be Welcome, with double E. Which is a cute little game about finding the right bees among many bees. Okay. And it comes to us from the developers of Solitaire, which is a game.
Oh, really okay.
Yeah. I also played the demo for Beastie Ball, which is a gorgeous creature collector from the developers of Chicory.
Yeah, it is.
And it's not just a creature collector, because instead of fighting, these creatures play volleyball.
Yeah.
It's a really good time.
I backed it on a Kickstarter. I'm getting the plush of the little, was it Sprinky? I don't know what the little guy's name is, but I'm getting his plush.
I also played the demo for He Is Coming.
Okay.
This feels like it could be a phenomenal little game. It's a roguelike RPG auto battler and with a fantastic retro aesthetic where you run around the map upgrading your character, fighting enemies, and then at the end of each loop you fight a boss.
Take that, boss.
The Demon King. And the gameplay loop feels very satisfying in a similar way to Loop Hero.
Okay.
For example. I also played Morgan Metal Detective, which is more of an all ages kind of game where you find items with your metal detector and give them to people, and it's very wholesome. Moving on from wholesome to Jotun Slayer Hordes of Hell.
Whoa.
which is basically vampire survivors, but based in Norse mythology.
Ooh, okay.
And with spectacular visuals, I have to say.
Ooh, yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah. Then I played Dead Zone: The Credits Bounty, which is a sci-fi turn-based roguelike that seems like it's full of interesting gameplay and lore. There's a lot going on, and I haven't played enough of it to like really speak all that much about it. But it's from the developers of Bone Razor Minions, and it has a similar art style to that game, and it looks like it could be really cool if you take the time with it.
Yeah. Okay.
Then I also played the single-player demo for Windblown, which you played the multiplayer version of.
Yeah.
And that's an amazing roguelike from the devs behind Dead Cells. What can I say? This feels like a finished game.
Yeah. Feels good.
The combat is so smooth. I was worried that like the single-player element would be a bit lackluster compared to the multiplayer gameplay, but it still feels so good to play.
Now, I'm curious, were you introduced to, like, I know it's not a lot, you kind of get to, like, the first, like, mini-boss. Were you introduced to a lot of the mechanics that are in that game? Because I have a question about when I played it, and I'm just not sure how it transpired. Because there's, like, the combos of, like, you get, like, a full combo with one weapon. If you switch to the other at the end of the combo, it'll do, like, a devastating attack. Did they get to show you? So they didn't, like, show you any of that stuff?
No. But I didn't play it for that long. Because I was just like, this is a game I'm going to be playing. I don't need to play this demo any longer.
Okay. I was assuming because a lot of the stuff is like locked. If you go to the shops, it's like not available in demo, not available in demo. From what we played in the early build, all of our stuff transferred over. So like I went in and clocked this first mini boss with all my combos, all the big stuff, all the weapons I unlocked. I had the perk where I get 3 weapon drops at the start. I'm like, oh. Either they're treating us all or I'm about to blitz this game. I knocked out the first run in like 10 minutes. I'm like, this wasn't fair for me, but it's okay.
That's cool.
It was pretty cool.
I have 2 demos left to mention. That's the first one is Monster Mop-Up, which is a game that you've played on stream. I wanted to try it myself. It's basically, if you like Power Wash Simulator or games like that, you're gonna like this one. You clean up houses. And it's a good time. It controls really well. It's just a good time. Yeah. And then I'm gonna finish off with Rift of the Necrodancer.
Okay.
Which I have mixed thoughts on.
Oh, okay.
I did not expect it to be so close to Guitar Hero, Band Hero type of gameplay. I thought it would be more similar to the original game.
Okay.
When you're exploring dungeons. Of course, the demo didn't allow us to play the story mode, so I don't know if there's going to be... If gameplay is going to be expanded upon, but... The thing is, like, presentation and the music are top-notch, so I'm guessing this is going to be a really good game. I'm just hoping it's going to be more than what I saw during the demo.
Yeah. Hopefully. Let me see. Let me rattle off some of my other ones. I have some ones that I just, like, have no thoughts on, so let's kind of skip those. But I also played Trash Goblins demo. Loved having more of that. That game's going to be great. Can't wait to play it in a week. I got to play Building Relationships, which you've talked about, I think, twice on this show. I have never been more turned on by a windmill in my life, and that's insane. There's no reason that windmill should be so fucking hot.
Millie. She does that.
It's crazy. Completely stretchy and uncomfortable. completely stretchy and uncomfortably sticky. Is a like first person platformer where it's like very Rick and Morty-esque in the way of like creepy weird aliens with big old bug eyes and stuff. Your whole traversal is one hand that you kind of grapple with and pull to stuff. You'll pick up, I think they're called just blobs, and those make you extra sticky so you can hold on to stuff longer. The whole thing is to get on this train, you have to collect 10 coins by completing missions and whatever. It was fun. I didn't love some of the locomotion. Like if I picked up momentum too much, I didn't really have a way of slowing down and controlling myself. But oh no, I think it's going to be a silly game. I think I'll be a fun one. Like very I am bred type goofiness.
Yeah.
I also played Morgan Metal Detective. Loved that. I might have just mainlined it too hard where I was like, find the thing, got the thing, and ended. I'm like, that demo was so short. Damn.
Yeah.
But even as short as it was, loved it. I can't wait to play more of that one. I'm going to love just bleeping around, finding shit. I got to go play Ballionaire, the Plinko roguelike. Had a really good time with that one where you just place all the stuff. I got in the habit where there's a cactus item, which like if you hit the cactus, it eats the ball and you get like $40 or something. But if you miss the cactus, you earn like 400 or something like that. So I had like 7 cactuses all around the bottom of the map where I was just like, if I can go to the middle or if I can make these bounce it around, I don't have to worry about it. So I'd be getting like money. And then I whiffed it at one point at like the 7th round or whatever on like the second god. I'm like, damn, all right, wrap it up. Next game.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's really fun. I'm excited for that one. I played Floridale Man. I was a little unimpressed with that one. I didn't love it. I think this might have been too soon for a demo for this one, or maybe the demo they gave us was just too confined. I've seen the trailer for this game. I feel this game's got to be goofy, fun, and exciting, but I will admit I kind of W keyed through the tutorial bit. It was kind of like go explore and do stuff, but it was like find this guy. I couldn't find the guy. I'd pick up the weapons and I wasn't really able to use them all that much. When I'd find other characters to talk to, I just wasn't really feeling it. So I'm excited to see more of this one later, but this first demo didn't really impress me very much.
Okay.
I played Fury Dough, which is a vampire survivors type game where you play as a platypus killing donuts.
Ooh.
Another one that I'm like, I see the potential in it. This demo was just very minimal. I had the character. I had 2 different types of enemies, at least as far as I played. It was fine. I have no like major complaints, but it just kind of was there. It existed. I'm hoping to see it get more. I don't know how soon to release it is, but it was pretty simple. I do wish our character's a little bigger. He's really tiny compared to everything else on the screen, so sometimes I get lost in the horde, but neither here nor there. It was still fun. And then last one, I played Dino Cop, which I really enjoyed. So you're playing as a dinosaur. Essentially, the whole thing is dinosaurs are brought back to life, very Jurassic Park, except you're trying to, like, humans and dinosaurs coexist in the same towns, the same cities and everything. One of the big issues, though, is that for whatever reason, we decided brontosaurus are okay to eat. And there's some lore where just like, oh, brontosaurus, they don't live that long. So like, blah, blah, blah. Brontosaurus parents have the right to sell their child into like the food industry. So you can just take a child and eat it. And everyone's just like, that's fucked up. But like other dinosaurs are like, listen, we're carnivores and we got to eat too. So sometimes we decided that the most nutrition value comes from the brontosaurus. So we just decided we can eat them. And the humans like, yeah, okay, we can do that too if they're not going to eat humans. So like, that's a big controversy that's there. And your first mission is you're exploring this convention of like dinosaur food to be like, someone's got human meat on the premises, but who is it? I didn't solve the whole mission. We played for quite a while on stream. I didn't quite get to the end, but I really enjoyed it. I had a weird thing when I launched it the first time. For some reason, the input wasn't working, and I thought the game was just like not complete. But I like closed, restarted, played through it again, and it worked fine. So,
Okay.
yeah, that was going to be charming. I think I was just like goofy enough and like silly to be like, I'm just a dinosaur in like a detective hat and magnifying glass. You can sniff out stuff. So you're like, all right, that's mammoth meat, or so they call mammoth meat. But I smell it somewhere else. And you go and explore, right? And you can follow the scent and see like who else has matching food. So yeah, that one's cool. I like Dino Cop.
All right.
And ba-boom. There it is. There it is. Keep it running here. Scrolling. Now let's move on to the indie releases this week. This is for the week of November, October 24th through October 31st. We've got Telebit coming October 24th for PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC. We've got Improbability Control Bureau on October 24th for PC. Windblown in early access on PC October 24th. Slay the Princess, the Pristine Edition October 24th for PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC. Remember, if you have it already on PC, you'll get upgraded to the full one on that day. Forgive Me Father 2 coming to PC October 24th. God, October 24th, busy. Yeah. Dot Age on October 24th for Switch. Prim October 24th for PC. Fruit Bust October 28th for PC. Oh fuck, I forgot Fruit Bust was this month, dog. Let's go. Sulfur October 28th for PC and early access. Slime 3K Rise Against Despot on October 31st for PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC. And those are the games you can play this week. Tofr, you wanted to mention a thing.
Yes, because I was just thinking, like, 2024 is quickly coming to a close.
It is.
Like, it's almost November, and then I started going through my Steam wish list.
Okay.
And I was like, holy shit! There's a lot of games that still have to come out this year that don't even have release dates yet, except for like
2024,
fourth quarter of 24, or and I made a list.
Okay. Okay.
Just to go over some major games that still need to release this year.
Okay.
And I just want to see your reaction to my list.
Okay.
So we have Overthrown, Keepsake County, Skate Story, Agent 64, Spies Never Die, Slope Crashers, 30 Birds, Locomotive, Sorry We're Closed, Uncle Chop's Rocket Shop, Beastie Ball, Windblown, Mythwrecked Ambrosia Island, Ollie Frog Toad Skater, Pine A Story of Loss, Wilmot Works It Out, Rift of the Necrodancer, Sulfur, On Your Tail, Toads of the Bayou, Dungeon Crawler, Chicken Police Into the Hive, Critter Cafe, Trash Goblin, Fruit Bus, The Rise of the Golden Idol, and Great God Grove.
Okay.
That's all this year.
So there's quite a few that we have dates that they come out in like a week, 2 weeks time. Some of those I'm like, oh, that's not coming out this year. That is not coming out this year. I can't think like there were like three. I'm like, oh yeah, that one's not coming out.
There have to be games on this list that won't make it out this year, but
1000%.
I'm mostly worried about Skate Story. That one was like, it was already postponed last year to this year, and then we still don't have it. Yeah,
I thought, did we hear that it was getting delayed to 2025 or that it wasn't ready? Or maybe we just said it wasn't ready for early enough. Maybe it's still like planned for this year, but I somewhere I want to say it was 2025. We're like, yeah, Skate Story, it'll be here. We'll play it soon.
I thought it was still 2024, but
it might be. I don't know. Like, that game's got dates. It's got times. It's got slots. I'm like briefly scrolling mine. I'm not seeing a lot of 2024s yet. I'm seeing a lot of unannounced. 2025. Okay. I got Luma Island on November. I can probably go through mine at some point. But yeah, there's a lot of games come out this year that they're on the wall. They're on the edge, man. I don't know. Oh boy.
What a time.
What a time to be an indie gamer, baby. So much to play. But with that is a wrap on this episode of Playlog. Now, I don't know if this one was long enough. I think it could have been longer. We should have done 15 games each, but I think we'll wait that for next Fest, which we probably won't do 15. That's a lot of fucking work. But thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Playlog. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let us know in the comments what you played during Steam Next Fest, what you're most excited to check out, what games you didn't like, and so on and so forth, and which games we talked about you thought sounded cool. Tofr, if the little scrubbly dinklers wanted to find you on the interwebs, where would they go?
They can find me through my link tree, which is play.nice.kids in one word. And I will be, I was gonna stream last weekend, but then I got ill. So I'm going to be streaming next weekend and on Halloween Eve. Yes. And that's on twitch.tv/play_nice_kids.
Hell yeah, let's get it. And then, of course, you can find me on the social medias at CGDannyB, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and now Blue Sky. The cleaner Twitter. It's a nice place. It's a good time. Go over to Blue Sky. We'll hang out and chat and shit. And with that is a wrap on this episode, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around for a 2.5-hour episode of Playlog. We appreciate you guys so much for being as beautiful and lovely as you are. And we'll see you next week for our Spirit Fair podcast. Be sure to come in with your reviews. Here's what we got to say. Tell us what you think of Spirit Fair. And who knows? There might be a guest. There might not be. We won't know till we know. So we'll find out next week. That's a prize to get for sticking around. Anyway, bye guys. See you later.